What is up, everybody? So I'm sitting here like waiting for the music to stop, and then I remembered that this is just the menu music and it doesn't stop. So yeah, kind of arbitrary time to start the stream, but what do you want from me? I'll switch to the playlist in a minute. Although there's a lot of good music in Lostbelt 5, so like, oh my god, when we fight Zeus, obviously we're using the in-game music. I think we'll use the in-game music for most of the big 5-2 fights. Oh, so I forgot. I'm kind of glad Rex isn't here right now because he'd be mad. Last night I was playing a video game with my brother and Tusk and stuff, and just on the side, I was like, you know what, I saw that Beowulf was solo rated up again, right? Which, you know, I'm a big Beowulf fan here. So I was like, you know what, I'll use like 2 summon tickets, and I got my login streak, so like I'll do 1 10 roll and see if I can get Beowulf. I didn't get Beowulf. It feels bad, man. But I got the 5-star Lancer, which, you know, is cool, but I would have vastly preferred Beowulf. But I know a lot of people, you know, that wanted the 5-star and didn't get it, right? And I got the 5-star, so it is the way of things. I really wish I had gotten Beowulf though, but maybe one of these days, if they give us a free 4-star ticket, I'm picking Beowulf 100%. All right, let's get in there and oh shit, I was supposed to slot a bunch of units on my main and ult account and give them command codes that I could use against Luvia, but I forgot to do it because I got really sidetracked today. Oops. Well, let's see what chat's got for us though. Yeah, definitely streamer luck on that one. Too bad. So you know, everyone says that, but what they don't understand, what they always fail to mention, like if you go to my Discord, you can find so many people like, you know, oh, this streamer luck, you know, all these 5 stars. You remember I streamed a while ago and I got like 1 million 5 stars, but what everyone fails to mention is that streamer boy just wants 3 stars and like, you know, very specific 4 stars and stuff, and I get like Nev. Like, that's not a win. Like, how is that a win? Like, yeah, let me waste a bunch of fucking mats on Mev. Yeah, sure, right? Like, you know, meanwhile, you know, I want, you know, like Beowulf or Herc or something, and it's like, no, you know, you can't. Yeah, I get Vlad. You know, I'm always talking about how much I would like Lancer Vlad and how much I don't like Berserker Vlad, and I get Berserker Vlad, right? It's like, that's not useful. Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that, Wonder. I think I can say that much of your name at least. I appreciate it. That's something I'm really grateful for, is that, you know, this year has been pretty rough. You know, I haven't seen like a lot of my real life friends in like a year, right? Because of COVID and everything. But streaming has been awesome, and it's been really nice to be able to just hang out and shoot the shit and whatnot. So that's, I tell you that if there's one thing I'm proud of in my life, if I can literally make one person like make their time easier and happier if they're going through a tough time, and if I can make it a little bit better for at least one person, right? It's like, it's worth it, right? So I'm honored to be able to be of service to people in any way in that department. So, all right, let's get smacked here. Who do we want to try? You know what? Let's start off with Melt. Why not? Let's see how Melt do here. I think we'll do default. There's no way she's living long enough to go around the wheel, so I think default is the way to go. Yeah, we need a new wave emote because our wave emote is bad, but that's part of, I think, why we use the salute emote all the time. But the salute emote is pretty great, so. Dude, my chat, I love and hate my chat, but I think that's how it's supposed to be. I was actually just talking about this before the stream. Hey Phantom, thank you for the 20-month resub, Jesus. Oh my god, that's a long time. But I was just talking before the stream about, I remember there was a time where I had forgotten to turn like my do not disturb on, right? So like text should pop up. And chat was like asking me something, or I had asked chat something, and like, why does that happen? Tusk had texted me, and he was answering a question that I'd asked him like way earlier in the day, right? He was like answering very late, and he just answered with no, right? So like right as this question was being asked, you know, on screen you have this giant text from Tusk just saying no, right? And it's kind of amazing because, you know, Tusk has never actually shown up in my stream at any point, but his presence has been felt regardless. Good times though, good times. Dude, 07 is like my favorite, like, you know, old school emote, right? Because obviously, way back in the day, you didn't have like proper emotes. You just used, you know, smiley faces from, you know, text and everything. But I love 07 for Salute. So good. Man, I feel bad every time George dies now. Yeah, like yay one or like praise the sun or however you want to see it is really good. How much do I want? Oh, here, let me kill the music now. I think this is just generic stuff, so. Although honestly, for generic music, it's totally fine. But wait, that's voice. Wait, what am I doing? That's sound effect. That's music. God, there we go. Third time's the charm. Alright, we got this. Let's, I think we make stars? Makes me sad. I love Qingong to death, but he's just such a, no matter what you do, he is such a bad solo unit. Now, you can obviously do setups where everyone on the team is fodder just for him to fire, and that can kind of work, but like, you know, if you kind of want to do a straightforward solo thing, Qingong is like, even if you make him level 100, 2k foe, all that stuff, he's terrible. Like, he's awful. He's just normal cards without, like, crit up or anything, so. I should have cast this last turn. What am I doing? Although, actually making the stars here is not so bad. Yeah, if you solo like easy stuff, you can use Qingong. Although I guess that's another reason to use Atlas here is to move this defense down. I think I saved my attack up from when we have a million crit buffs. Do I though? Yeah, I think she can beat this. He has to win in 5 NPs. Well, you can finish them off with normal cards. But a level 100 Qingong is great in a team context. Like, he can really throw out some numbers. Like, he works just fine. It's really just in pure solo that it's not going to happen. Oh yeah, she gets rid of their defense buffs. That's awesome. That helps make up for not having damage. Okay, let's see if we can get some damage next turn. That was so lucky that she hit us enough times to get rid of the shield, but then only hit us twice. So like the defense down didn't really do anything. %90 make more stars, or 100% and make less stars. I'm feeling ballsy. See, it's fine. No problem. Dude, there are multiple YouTube videos from me where I use Billy the Kid and I have a 90% crit and it doesn't crit. And it's just like... Every time that happens, I almost want to reset. Like, even if I think I'm going to win, a lot of times I want to reset. I normally don't, but it's just so frustrating. It's like this unsatisfying feeling, like so much so. You know, I think Melt's got a couple of crit buffs. Okay, this is the turn I should have used the attack up from the Mystic Code, actually. Because it would have hit the NP, and these crits are even stronger. Does Guts cancel the turn when you die? The turn by an NP effect like Stellar or Hypocrisy? No, it does not, because the turn hasn't switched yet, so... You know, I don't think Luvia cares for Sakura faces. Like, I don't think she was a fan of any of that. We were about to win, by the way. So even if I'd used the attack up properly, we still would have lost there. But if I'd used it correctly, we might have won next turn, actually. That was rough. I tell you, if you don't have hard survival, you can evaporate pretty quickly here. She is no slouch when it comes to the normal card damage. Alright, let's see what else we got here. That's a U. Boy, U... Okay, she's AoE, so you don't really hold her to the same standard, but let's try it. Hey, Boatless, what's up, man? How you been? It's been a while. There we go. God, fucking female MC makes it so hard to remember what is what. Does Luvia ever mate Sakura? I don't think so. Sakura, yeah, I don't think so. Oh, unless you mean vanilla Sakura and vanilla Luvia, then yes. At least in some of the alternate universes. I don't know about any like the main Fate timelines. I don't know if that's ever happened. Probably, just because, you know, they don't show a lot of like the post-Fate Stay Night era, but it's pretty likely, I would think. Let's get opening hand. I'm trying to think if I want to cast anything on you. Honestly, if I get really lucky, I should. Like, my next hand happens to be like this, but I guess we won't. God, she sounds so done with everything. Dude, I gotta say, her summon line is just hilarious. Like, she's basically pissed that she got summoned by you. It's pretty funny. Because, like, from her perspective, she just died and just got turned into heroic spirit, and, you know, from dealing with you, right, in Lostbelt 3, right? So she just died, she just got, you know, done seeing your stupid face running everything, and then you summon her, and it's just like, oh, great. And I'm pretty sure the whole reason she accepts any summon from anybody is because it gives her a chance of seeing Horsebindo again, right? And then, like, if you do have Horsebindo, right, she's got the voice line that definitely implies that. That's like the whole reason she's putting up with this shit. That would be funny if her initial summoning line was different, though. Yeah, if you already had him. They have a few characters with, like, special conditions like that, but they don't have many, unfortunately. But they should. That's it'd be fun. All right, let me think. I can just pretty much cast everything except for my third skill. There's no reason to do that. See, I have Horsebindo on my ult, but I don't have you. Actually, I guess I have Horsebindo on my main now. I didn't. No, wait, what? But was it? No, I think I got it on this account. I think this account got Horsebindo or something. Like no, I did. I did get Horsebindo when I was rolling for Beowulf. Right. That's fucked up, man. It sucks because I really like Horsebindo, but having an NP1 when my ult account has an NP2 feels a bit meaningless. So. Man, I tell ya, it's not a good time when you're a unit with soft survivability in this stage, right? You don't live long enough to, like, wow, guys, we're gonna heal. That'll help. Like, fucking yikes, man. Okay, can do the heal boost. Do like that. Shit, dude. We get to heal one more time, but I don't think that's going to be enough to live. I think Orion will work. Call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure he's got that. I need to somehow live this turn. I guess I use what little heal I have, and then I do the heal boost for my skill. Tiny odds of living, but it could happen. I think Jack could do this, yeah. He's probably gonna be a good Jack, but a properly set up Jack, I would definitely think so. Like, the thing is, because Luvia can just absolutely delete your health bar out of nowhere, you know, you're gonna want to be set up really properly and just really blow her the hell up. But, yeah, I don't see why not. She's got a set up ability skill, she has crazy good looping and damage and everything. And hell, she can remove Luvia's crit buff, so that actually helps quite a bit. Damn it, well. There she goes. If things had gone better for you, she probably could have done another chunk, but she definitely don't think could win. We could talk if someone's got a good Summer U, I'll happily try it. Beowulf, now that's a fun one. I could try my Beowulf. Mine's far from the best, but mine I can at least control the command codes on and stuff. I'll try that real quick, actually. That's let me get my phone here and set him up proper. The main thing that I think is going to prevent him from doing it, and I think this really is the nail in the coffin, is the fact that, you know, Berserkers are so scaled around the idea that they get to do counter-class damage or close to counter-class damage to anything. But because of the gimmicks in this fight, he doesn't, and very few Berserkers do well in this context. Like, really, Berserkers kind of come to this fight to die. You gotta be like Hercules or Ku Alter or someone like that to still do well, generally. Jesus, Boatless, excuse me. And you're one of my first subscribers, actually. You got the founder thing, damn. Alright, give me a second. It's so hard to switch command codes because you have to concentrate so much because the UI is so bad. I'm hoping so much that New Year's gives us a command code overall, like, please. I have my Grail Summer U. Yeah, I'll try that. I don't think she'll work just because like she has survivability issues, but I think I'll be really interested to see what kind of damage she can put out. All right, what do I give Beowulf? Is she a servant? Does anyone remember if Luvia is a servant here? Because if she is, you know, the Gilgamesh one is a pretty universal command code to go with. You know, now I was just talking about, yeah, because heals here. I was just talking about how Berserkers kind of get destroyed here, but I think one that doesn't is Tamcat. Tamcat can excel quite a bit when Berserkers are being neutral instead. Oh yeah, she is divine. Okay. Let me think. Do I want to go with Star Absorb? I think I will. Go with one Star Absorb one and just see if we can get lucky. And crit an extra time when we still have our crit buff, basically. I doubt Spartacus could do this because he's AoE. Like, if he was 2k foe, level 100 and all that, I think he would do pretty well, but being AoE, I just don't think he has the damage. Now, if you really went ham, though, and you gave him, like, the faux pause, and you had some really specific CE, like the Yang CE or something, then you might be able to do it. Oh, I need to give Beowulf the defense removal command code, actually. I guess I give him Star Bomb on a Buster card, just so I have a few YOLO crits that might happen. Or do I just go with way more damage for the one crit turn that I know I have? Let's go for peak damage. We're not gonna live long. Hey, thank you, I am RRTN. See, I can actually say that, that's pretty simple. But thank you for the sub, dude. 3 months. Yeah, Melt was super close. I think she can do it. Just need a good run or just be a bit more upgraded. But yeah, she was really close. Yeah, I think Jack's got this. If someone has a Jack, I'll show it off. Because I think she might lose sometimes just because Luvia might bust a crit you for 14,000. But I'd say more times than not, I think she'd be alright. Alright, let me just give... Dude, look how long it's taking me to get Beowulf command codes. It's just that slow. And it's really having to unequip them from other people that makes it terrible. Okay, I think he's ready. Yeah, stage 1 is my favorite Beowulf stage. Okay, I'm just gonna go with Golden Sumo because that's like a nice standard baseline, but nothing too fancy. Alright, 30 minutes later, we are finally ready. I'm totally fine with trying 100 face. The problem would be command codes. Like, I prefer to show up chats units just so I don't have to switch command codes so much. I was supposed to do this before the stream. I just forgot. NA is about to get the command code that gives you stun resistance, or actually it's incapacitate resistance, and the heal boost. Even if you play NA as an ult, I really recommend you get those. Those are extremely good command codes. They actually have gotten better as time has gone on. The heal boost command code is just godly, especially once they add the 1000 heal command code. It is so good. It is such a good command code. It's one of my most used command codes. And then the anti-incapacitate, it works on so many things. It's so many things. So those are both like phenomenal command codes. Yeah, monkey event, yeah. Those little shits, man. Terrible opening hand. Yeah, I got this Ultra one too. I mean, I don't play NA much, but I made sure to get that. Wow, Beowulf having a terrible time with NP gain right now. That's not good. It'd have been so, like, takes so little to get your MP there, but that's why I really, oh god, I forgot. That's, oh fuck, I just messed up. But I'm glad that on my other account where I've got the better on Death CE, it's like that little difference means you almost never don't get it, which is nice. So yeah, on this account, no such luxury. Looks like I got a crit there. Okay. See what we can do here. You know, I've got such a good crit chance. I don't think we use the stars. I think we use them next turn. Just get lucky. The music does not give me faith. Imagine having 2 crit buffs, an attack buff, and a buster buff, and not critting. I mean, each individual unit has their own NP gain from being attacked, and there are units that have an abnormally high or low amount. Now, generally there are like standards where like you generally see like archers have, you know, higher star absorb and this and that. Like there's kind of a baseline that they kind of, but there's exceptional units that don't follow the typical, you know, trends, if you will. So it's a case by case thing. But generally berserkers generally have good gain rates, just in general, because they generally only have one art card. It's actually very common that you'll see a lot of units that only have one art card having higher than normal gain rate. Or the art card has a really high hit count. I think this is winnable. I mean, we're pretty damn close here. That's pretty awesome with him being at neutral. He's still that close. I think he can do it if you get lucky. And mine's only NP2, right? I'm level 90 NP2. You can certainly get stronger than that. And we missed that big crit, so I think he can do it. Certainly not 100% win rate, but if you were NP5, level 100, it probably would be 100% win rate at that point. And there's, you know, a lot of room for my Beowulf to get stronger. I think we'll do Summer U if we got Finn on here. And then we got it. Everyone wants Orion, but that'll be painful. I like how Baldy can beat this stage, but you have to get crazy lucky. And I did it first try. Felt good, man. But you have to get so fucking lucky. There's Faust, which is pretty good too, but I'm assuming Finn's is better. Like no luck here. Do we have any? Well, there's 100 face, but I don't have particularly good command codes. And they're okay. They're not ideal, but oh god, that CE though. That was for Rex. Let's do that real quick. Baldy can solo it, it's just a little bit inconsistent. Brynhildr? I don't know, that'd be worth trying. Someone's got one, I will use it. Really liking these Buster cards when I need MP gain, man. Oh my god. Probably not gonna work. I tell you, if they read story replay, we will not use this account much for doing this kind of thing because, you know, those CEs really add up. I mean, it is also just bad luck. It's just nice to be able to get your NP even if you get bad luck like that. You know, you don't have to get an art card or anything. Maniac. I tell you, playing through FGO or any other game is always more enjoyable when you have crap like that in your chat. It's amazing. Okay. Now I like how we've gone to 146% and we could have put towards our next NP, but no. Like, it's such a huge value hit where you almost get your NP but don't. Like, it's so bad. 40 and 10, let's go RNG. 40 and 10, still, okay. Didn't do anything. Like, and honestly, if that didn't happen to Beowulf probably would have won, because he also was in this boat. I lost with the gifted sub to Maniac, who deserves it, so it feels good. I think he lost it. I mean, they didn't put as much effort into his costume as animation updates because they only had to animate a couple of frames to make the costume work properly, but obviously they don't put that much effort into costumes generally or animation just sadly, but thankfully he's got a costume that they did put effort into though. But most of like the stuff is just reused from his original, right? So it's not that much work, but what little work they had to do to make this costume look as good as it does, they normally don't bother to do, so I'll take it. Damn, there we go. Well, he's doing pretty respectable, all things considered. Glad we got that crit down. I want some crits here. Come on, game. Give me the good shit. No. No good shit. I don't think we re-roll that. I think we take that 80% and just hope for the best. Actually, we're gonna die, so let's do short term. I'm gonna forever see that with the emote that Maniac used there. I need to make an Izo video and edit that in, honestly. I think it's too good. Okay, that was pretty respectable, and that was with the bad, you know, NP game bullshit at the start, so not bad. Alright, I guess we have to do 100 face now. I feel like they'll have a pretty similar performance depending on RNG, because like, I will say, Izo he got bad luck with the NP game, but he got good luck with just not dying, right? We've had a lot of units, you know, explode and they, you know, not be able to take that many hits, where he was able to live a decent amount from his health bar. So, like, the difference between them is probably going to be dictated, I feel like, because there's a massive amount of value difference you can have if, like, she kills you in 1 turn, 2 turns, instead of, or 3 turns, right? So I think the difference between them will be more decided by RNG than their actual, like, difference in their kit. Because, this fight definitely favors Izo more, because it is more burst damage, but 100 face is just better, so I think the end result is going to be the variance will be their RNG. Because this, you know, 100 face is more longevity based, and you can only live so long here unless you're Ku. But, she's just so good anyway that even when it's not, like, her style of fight, she'll probably still do pretty well, I would think. But yeah, if we just get blown up in 1 turn, we're in trouble. You know what's funny, Rex, is a lot of people were panicking. But I guess you know this by now because you know you've seen how this goes. Okay, what do we give 100 face? Let me think. So, if you can work in, like, the heal boost and stuff, maybe you can buy yourself an extra turn, but there's also consistency. She might do her defense up. Maybe I just do Star Absorb. I don't know. I like Star Bomb, too. Maybe I go Star Bomb on an art card, and then... I don't know if I want to do a defense removal on an art card, though, because if you get lucky and she just doesn't... she doesn't do the defense up, it's not that big of a deal. And if you do work in another card every once in a while, you can put it on that. I like how somebody had to tell Rex that immediately. Also, I did not get Beowulf. Rex, can we trade? Like, 100%. If this game had a trade system, I would do it. No hate for Vertra, by the way. It's not like, you know, she's cool, but, you know, Beowulf is pretty high priority here. I'm gonna slap buff success chance on our quick card, and maybe we have a turn right before we do like start the loop where I get to use it. There is a world where you put it on our art card, honestly. Okay, Buster card. Heal booster would be okay, but it's on someone else, and I'm too lazy to switch it off, so crit up it is. Alright, I don't exactly have faith in the command codes I just picked, but just got MP5 Beowulf and 1 multi. Guys, feels bad though. Assuming you like Beowulf. I suppose if you don't like Beowulf, then my condolences, but wait, why am I summoning Beowulf? You can really tell where my mind is at right now. Supposed to be using 100 face, excuse me. So overwhelmingly, Atlas is normally good on her, but I wonder if I can't make that work here. But what if I can? See, maybe I should have given her the heal plus then, because then you might well be able to go that long. I'll try it with Atlas, and if it doesn't work, I'll just try her again with default. I think this is risky, right? It was very obvious with Ezo not to do Atlas, but with 100 face, it's a bit harder to say. I actually think you could do a trade system in FGO, but you would have to make it so you could only do it once a year. I'm serious. It'd have to be like a special moment, like a GSSR. If it was constantly a thing, people would always make ult accounts and just trade with themselves, right? Which would be a huge problem. But if you could only do it once a year, and only not just once a year, but at a specific time in the year, and also, I guess because of starter accounts, not only would you want it to be at a certain time in the year, you'd have to say you have to have at least cleared, you know, pretty far into the game, and that would really cut down on that. But if you only do it once a year, yeah, I don't think that would really make that big of a problem with like starter accounts and stuff. But man, if it was that time of year where people could trade, like, oh my god, that'd be awesome. Actually, you have so many people talking on Discord and everything, it'd be great. But it'd be pretty. You have to be pretty careful with it, and they won't. Like, of course they won't. Like, 1,000,000% they're never gonna do that. But yeah, you absolutely could not add like an unlimited trade system. But that'd be really cool because I mean, legit, I hate when like my friends get like, you know, really bad luck and they really want that thing and they can't get it. And if I get it, I'm like, if, you know, I could use my one trade a year to like give someone their favorite, I'd be totally okay with that, right? And then I can get like, you know, Fionn or something out of it, you know, I'll be totally game for that. Because I bet you so many people have units that they don't like at all that I'm like, you know, I super want, right? Because, you know, my taste is a bit odd. Get to eat that defense buff. Like that. I almost want to give her the anti-attack up command code to limit the amount that we can, you know, get decked in the schnoz. Now this is like, you know, go time music, so let's see if we can not fuck it up. Okay, we got our buff success chance, so that's super good. Art Knights? Who would have thought? Yeah, you can trade Serpents in Grail Wars, but good luck getting people to trust each other enough to do that. Okay, at least our odds of being crit are, it's like impossible to be crit right now, so we have 100% crit down. This is when we start ramping. Okay. 150% crit down, by the way. Actually, it's not. It's 120. Excuse me. That's Shingon. It's still more than enough, but bonk. Just don't one-shot me. For the love of God, do not one-shot me. I almost want to do that quick card, so next turn I'll know I'll land the art buff. Is that worth it, doing one quick card? 50% crit. If it crits, it's fine. Like, obviously it won't benefit though from the art resist down, and the art resist down is, you know, pretty swell. And it's also Star Bomb. Let's go for the good luck. We'll go for the just land the art up anyway. It's 80%, so... Yeah, this loot mechanic's kind of cool. It works better on bosses though than it does on player. Like, it's an interesting mechanic for the boss, not so much for us. Depends on the fight though. That's crazy that she does that much damage without a Mystic Code buff at neutral, dude. Fucking 100 face. I am very happy to be like, yep, I cannot be crit though. Like, there's no RNG in it. She cannot be crit, which is pretty great. RNG, please. Whew, okay. Do I want to get rid of that defense buff? I'm thinking no. Honestly, I think we just go for it here. Is 100 face kind of good? Yeah, a little bit. I would like to point out my statement earlier about the difference between them just being the RNG is wrong, because we are light years ahead of ESO right now. And we didn't get like particularly bad luck, but I kind of forgot. I literally just kind of forgot that 100 face is disgusting and she can't be crit, right? There's no world where Luvia's just like, you know, Buster crit kills you with 100 face. Because you've got invulnerability and evade for the first few turns, and by then you have at least one crit down. And yeah. We're at full health, by the way. Like, we're at full health, and we're gonna debuff her again, unless she gets lucky, but even then we still wouldn't be crit. We would probably live, like, until the next MP, right? So we have quite a lot of wiggle room here, actually. That's pretty disgusting. Okay, yep, 100 faces. I gotta, okay. I know 100 face is good, right? I'm always saying 100 face is good, but this is surprising to me because she is a fucking 3-star, and not a lot of 3-stars are doing this even when they are upgraded well. Like that's, and it's not like oh hey she's a 3-star guys and she just barely beat it. It's like no, she's a 3-star and she absolutely destroyed it, and she did a lot of things that remove RNG from the fight as well. So that was disgusting. Okay, yep. 100 faces is pretty good. And that's not even a good stage for her. Like, that's literally not a good stage for her. Okay, there's a Jack. Is that the best Jack we have access to? Well, even if it's not, it's kind of fun to test one at that range, because it's kind of fair with, you know, the lower rarity stuff we've been using, so we'll do this. Does she want Atlas? Let me look at her. It kind of depends on her evade length. Oh my god, I want Jack from APOC. Not from APOC, from Fate Strange Fake. We have Jack from APOC, she's right there. But I want Jack from Fate Strange Fake in the game, like shit. And one of these days, man, one of these days. Alright, her evade is 6 turns. That kind of, that's, we're on the edge. If it was 5 turns, I would say absolutely, but... I mean, if she gets it twice, it's worth it. That's another reason why 100 face is so good, because her evade is 5 turns. MP1 feels bad, yeah. One of these days, at least she's unlimited, so. Rex, if they added another free 5-star ticket, which let's be real, they're not going to do that for a little while, but let's say they did one right now, just boom, who would you pick? Because I feel like you have quite a few that you would want, so because like you do have Jag and all these other ones, and MP1 and stuff, so that's tough. That you know, fair enough, Rex. I respect that. I respect that pick, and hell, that's what I picked when they got the free 5-star. But yeah, with you got you all leveled up and everything, that's very sensible. Okay, Atlas or default? You know what? I'm gonna do default. I feel like this is tough. This is so tough. If she was 100, I would definitely go with Atlas. But with 13k health, I feel like this is more likely to give us more value. I really fear it spontaneously exploding, right? I don't know what I would take. I'm not sure. Most of what I care about these days is, you know, 4 stars and stuff, but for this account, I'd probably pick Lantoria, or yeah, regular Lance or Toria, because it'd be cool to get her at NP2, and this is the only account that has her, so just to do something unique. My hand slipped. I mean, technically I didn't say it could be story locked, but Rex is correct that, you know, odds are it would be like it was before. That was so lame that you couldn't pick Tesla, dude. That's who I'd pick on my main account, though, if he was available. Easy. But for this account, it'd probably be someone that I just don't have on my other accounts. The song is just called At the Garden. It's from Garden of Avalon. It's funny, everyone thinks it's from F-Go, but it's not. They just used it again in F-Go, but it's from Garden of Avalon, which is the you know, drama CD that covers a bunch of different people from Camelot. They didn't even remix it for F-Go, they actually just used the exact same version of the song, I'm pretty sure. Which I actually wish they would do more often. You don't always have to remix things. Like, sometimes it makes sense to, right? But sometimes it works really well to just use a classical version of something. I'm really glad Jack has buff removal. It's gonna help quite a bit. Oh boy, now that is a hand. Let's go. Jack getting some good luck here. Give me some stars. Look at, I feel like someone's been picking command codes that make sense. I thought these are definitely tailored to the fight, I think, which I'm okay with. Because, yeah, that's really useful right there. That really helps. Okay. Do I want to remove her crit buff, or do I think she's gonna... Well, if I evade now, no. So, we'll hold on to it for here. By the way, this is why Jack having her quick up on evade isn't really that big of a deal, because a lot of times in a team setting, or in a solo, but in a team setting as well, you can pick. If you're like, okay, the boss NP's next turn, but I want to NP right now. Okay, well then use Jack's evade now, and hey, she'll still evade normal card damage this turn, so it's useful. And then use Merlin's second skill next turn, or your Mystic Code, or David, or whatever, right? Like you just account for like that kind of awkwardness. And if it's like, oh, I don't have David or Mystic Code, nothing available, then you just wait to cast it, right? And it's not that bad. I mean, she loops so much anyway. You can use the quick up later, so like stuff like that. People act like it's so bad when your survivability stuff is on your with your offensive stuff, but it's if you just use your fucking brain, it really is not that big of a deal. There are a few units that I think it disproportionately is difficult to deal with, but very rarely. Oh, her sound effects are messed up. Feels bad! My god, that damage though. That's just NP2, by the way. Not counterclassing, NP2, boss half dead. Okay. 51 stars. And we looped. Oh my fucking god. This is just at NP2, by the way. Guys, Jack's been power crept, and she's not good anymore. Totally. Good god. Even if the boss isn't female, like, she still would do like 100,000 there. That's the thing, she still hits like a fucking truck, even when they're not female. It's just when they are female, you're like breaking the game. I think we're probably gonna win. The only way we're gonna lose is if we take so much normal card damage, like way more than people have been recently. Which can happen. Luvia does that from time to time. So. I would imagine Kama would win here. I don't see why she wouldn't. All the top tier like solo people should be fine here, right? Like, you know, Gramps, Ku, and Kidu, Kama, you know, all of the standard, you know, big shots. All of them will be fine because she doesn't have any gimmicks that mess up any of like the major solo people. You know, she has a high hit count, even everything. Like, there's nothing. You know, this fight's tough, but for solo, but it's not that tough by any means. If she had a lower hit count, she might mess up a few people, but the fact that she also has a high hit count, it's like, yeah, this ain't so bad. I probably could have just done Atlas, honestly. She would have been fine. Because we haven't even taken damage yet, and we have 2 heals, which is, we don't really need that. And if the boss does, you know, an only buff, I can remove it. The fact that if Jack didn't have buff removal, you know, she'd be a little bit more limited, but the fact that she has really solid damage with or without the female buff, a solid survivability, top tier star gen, and then also has buff removal, that's just a nice niche to cover. It's like, she really is in good shape. Oh my god, Luvia, what are you doing? Full items matter, by the way. Luvia just absolutely run. I think we're gonna lose just because of that. But see, that's what I'm talking about. That's not her performing worse than everyone else. That's just RNG, right? Everyone else survived a few turns from getting smacked. Now, 100 Phase didn't really have turns, but she got smacked because 100 Phase had better uptime on her evade and then the permanent crit down and shit. But you know, like, Izo survived 3 turns of pure normal card damage, right? And Jack could have died in 1, and now she's gonna die in 2. But if she lived as long as everyone else, you know, she would have been fine. I mean, I guess we might still live here, but I did slightly misplay. I probably should have done my crit down that turn. It was probably more important to do the crit down than save the buff removal, because getting crit is that bad. We'll see if we get lucky here, but I don't think we're gonna survive. Definitely would win next turn. So yeah, all she needs to do is be able to survive 2 turns of normal card damage, which is nothing. Almost everyone here has survived 2 turns of normal card damage. But she didn't. She only survived. She literally got like, she survived 1 turn of normal card damage, right? That's nothing, right? So that was clearly just terrible luck. But the units that are disgusting are the units that are able to, like, not even need to do that. Because, like, you know, Ku has so much uptime on survivability, he never has to worry about that, really. And same goes for the other people. But yeah, and that's just, that's like, again, that's just NP2, and she did that well, so. If you know, you do that with her a few times, your win rate is going to be, just fine. Alright, what do we want to see now? God, imagine using Vlad here. I don't think he'll do so good. And now people are asking for Vlad, even before I said that. Is Lost here? I know he's here earlier. If Lost is still here, he has Vlad. Look at that fucking Yang CE on Ku Alter. Let's do Vlad. Alright. Which horse, though? You say horse? There's so many horses. We could do Karna, though. The new Karna. That'd be kind of fun to test. I don't think he would win, but I think he would have a good performance. I think he'd do pretty well. But he might win if he gets a bit lucky, and then she just happens to not kill him for a long time. Because, you know, you, like I said, you can get lucky and live 3 or 4 turns for normal core damage, or you can die in 1 or 2, so... If I see a good summon you, I'll use it. We did Luvia versus Luvia yesterday. Luvia won. Ben hasn't added you? Okay, let me see if he's on my thing. Oh, he's right there. Easy. That's the good shit right there. We've lost a second here. Gojina could probably do it, because he's got a little bit of survivability and just so much normal card damage. I'd be pushing a little bit though, because he is AoE and that kind of thing. And you know, Berserkers at neutral get kind of disproportionately smacked. Alright, time for the train wreck. I suspect Lost is giving him command codes. Let me give him a second here. Let's use you real quick, and that way Lost has time to just do what he wants. Don't rush the man. This game, dude. You can use like hex codes to color your name on JP. You cannot do it on NA though, but you can also only do it. Feels bad, level 100, 8, 10, 8 by the way. Well, that kind of kills the idea for Atlas, so we'll just do default. But yeah, the name has to only be 4 characters, so it's pretty limiting. Yep, I feel you lost. It is terrible. All right, let's. Now that's a good opening hand. Okay, I'm not gonna bitch about that. Really, all I want to see though is like 2 cards or an art card, right? Like 2 of any card or just 1 art card. And generally, I'm happy. Unfortunate timing with the command codes there, but I'll still take it. Now, if I get a good hand here, I could actually MP right now. No, okay, now it's not worth it. Okay, get our MP, no problem. Ooh, I'll take the crit. Good start. I do not think she can do this just because, it calls for a pretty extreme amount of value in terms of survivability or damage, or a mixture of the two, right? And now that you use bad, it's just this stage really is a bit of a high bar. It's not definitely not the highest bar ever, but I feel like a lot of 4 stars will struggle here. There's definitely some that can do it though, like no quit, like Hot Wheels. All right though, we get our thing because it's seaside and everything. That's pretty nice. Honestly, if the boss was male, I'd actually say she'd have a pretty good shot at it. But just quick. Just quick up though. Yeah, it's nice having that much MP gain though. I'll take that. Bonk him. Pretty good damage though. At least, I'll say this, it's not that bad because she has Guts and Guts didn't proc. If she had procced Guts, that would have been terrible. But like our Guts was probably gonna proc this turn no matter what. So that's not that bad. It's not necessarily like ideal. Because like maybe we could have been left with enough health where then we could have done the heal and then like the heal command code and maybe lived another turn, but that's certainly not happening now. But it's not that bad. I'll take these loops though. Like the only world where that would have been absolutely awful was if it had proc Guts. That would have been super bad. But yeah, 100 Face having crit down is a huge part of why she did so much better than everyone here. Just because there was just no getting crit. It's really that and the fact that her evade is 5 turns instead of 6 turns. Those two things combined just make 100 Face like not even care. Like it was like no RNG for her doing. Because 100 Face won with so much wiggle room that wiggle room makes up for like the potential for really bad RNG. How about this looping though? I could get up to 8,000 health again and we might be able to live. If I do that, I'll do it next turn. Or keep the quick spam. Besides, that does heal us a little bit. The Arjuna CC. I love that thing. It's such a good command code. Who would have thought that having 3 NP gain buffs would make it easy to loop? And we're not even at rank 10, by the way. Like, our first skill's rank 8, so it could actually be even more consistent. Okay, well, we didn't get it there. But we'll wait, no. Excuse me. Okay, I think for the first time, though, I think we do double heal, and we see if we can live another turn. Double healing and living one more turn is better than doing a quick chain. Oh yeah, Yang CE is amazing here, especially because the enemy has a high hit count. I'd say she's doing better than I thought she would do, and actually if you get a little lucky, she could do it. And for God's sake, you know, she's not even fully maxed yet, so yeah, I think it is possible for her to beat this. Unfortunately, man, that feels so bad when you put all that effort into getting your health back up. I guess I could've, you know, I made a slight mistake. I guess I could've healed at the soonest possible time and then maybe healed again. I think we still would've died on that turn though, but I do not think her win rate would be over 50%. I think it would surely be under 50%, but I think she can win there, which is actually a bit surprising to me. I didn't think she would do that well. Do you want Yangtze on Vlad? He might need it. Let's say no on the first try, but maybe we give it to him later because Vlad's so bad that if anybody, if it's okay to give to anybody, it'd probably be a him. Like he's, oh my god, he's gonna get absolutely destroyed here. What we actually want to do is we want to try to cast our gut skill on the turn we're going to die, so we get to do double guts. That'll help him a lot, because he basically will get a free turn. So we basically just need to not get one shot and then cast our gut skill. If we can seriously, because like that one guts he applies that only lasts one turn, if we can actually use that, that will really help. That will really help him. That a whole turn makes up for how bleh the rest of his kit is here. Like, won't maybe entirely make up for it, but it'll definitely offset it a pretty noticeable amount, so... Like, one turn of value for any unit is nice. Wait, do I not have my... Why is it... What? We already played this song. I normally have it set to where I can't play the same song twice, but, got some prototype music. This might be some of the least fitting music for Vlad, by the way. Okay, art card, I'll take that. And you remember Vlad's art card is one of the saddest things on the planet. In third place, it made 7 in B. Come on, Vlad. There you go. Now we're talking, okay. Do it that way. Actually, I could have done the art card in the middle. We'll get it. He's got that Vlad command code. Oh my god. Okay. I'm really glad Shin Gong's got this. I can't believe that. I cannot believe he got that little NP. I cannot believe he got that little NP with the Merlin command code. Like, what the hell, man? Okay, as nice as it would be to get our NP gain buff here, it's better to get that free turn. I definitely think that's better, so we'll wait. Well, I guess. Let me think. Can I get another turn out of my health bar? If I evade and heal, can I get another turn out of my health bar before casting Guts? Or do I just use Guts now and take the 1 turn value where I can get it? I mean, he'll have a defense up. He'll have a. I think we try to get another turn. I really think we try to get another turn. We got a min max, man. So we don't want to use our vampiric thing yet. So I go ahead and heal then. We might be able to get a good showing here. I'm doing my best here. Come on, get your NP. She has a high hit count, so that shouldn't be a problem. Basically, if she doesn't, I'm telling you, if she does not kill us next turn, we might have this. Like, the key really is going to be that new gut skill. If we're able to really min-max that, we might have something here. Just don't one-shot me, bro. We still have our defense buff. This is the turn, right? This is the turn. If we don't die here, I actually think we win. Well, I might be slightly optimistic, but we have a reasonable chance of winning if we don't die here. She does not have a crit buff, so that's good. Did we just miss a 90% crit? Wait, did we? I wasn't paying attention. That's not ideal. No. No. No! That's really disappointing. That's that was really disappointing. So I feel like more times than not, you're probably not going to get that much out of your health bar, even with the defense buff, so we probably should use Guts on the NP. I don't know though, if she hadn't double crit, it kind of depends on where we are with the value, right? Like, do I need that extra turn, or can I afford to just take the guaranteed value? Yeah, he's certainly not S tier, but his buff helps. His buff helps. Where he really, though, shines as not being great is in team play. Like, in solo, you can a lot of times get the double guts. In team play, you'll basically never get the double guts. So you'll have a guts and an NP gain skill and then the attack defense. Like, it's just not good enough. Like, I'm telling you, without Castor Artoria, he is just not that good. He really isn't. Now, he has got 5-star stats, and he's, you know, got some survivability and stuff, so there are good things there. But, yeah, he's not phenomenal. I think both people exaggerate. People act like he's the worst servant, and people act like he's the best, and he's certainly neither of those things. Now, he's one of the weaker 5-stars in my opinion if he's not being carried by OP support. But a weaker 5-star is still better than a lot of, you know, 1 to 4 stars. So he has uses. The Qingong CE and the Merlin command code should get the job done. Or just crit. Okay, well, no matter what, we have to at least face tank once. I should have used the attack up on the next NP because the next NP might have a slight chance of critting, and it would still have the other attack up, so it's just a chance of having better value. Very minor difference because our chance to crit wouldn't be good by any means, but. actually have slightly better health than we did last time. I gotta go for it again. I really think more times than not we'll get one more turn out of our health bar. That doesn't mean we're always gonna get another turn out of our health bar, but I guess I use vampirism here. Wait, then she won't NP the. Oh, okay, what do I think? Yeah, okay, if I use vampirism here, I definitely should have saved that attack buff from the Mystic Code, because we actually got lucky on that crit spread, and we got 50-50 on the art. That was a big mistake then. Using the attack up now would have been much better. She doesn't NP in 2 turns, and I basically have to use my guts for her NP. I think I'm gonna do it. Salami would do terrible here. He just doesn't have the stats. Well, using the attack buff here or earlier would make no difference because we failed both 50% crits. Scath should be able to win. That released depressing damage, but what are we gonna do? I guess I used the guts. Wait, if I use the guts now though, I don't really need the NP gain on this turn. What's the difference? There's really no difference, so I guess I just evade. I like this turn though. Okay, our damage has not been good, and our looting has not been as good as last time. But we got 2 turns out of our health bar, which is really all we can ask for. I don't think we got it this time though. I think overall our value was looking a lot better last time. It's just a shame that if we had gotten 2 turns out of our health bar last time, we might have been able to win. We'd be pushing it, but we might have been able to win. Where this one, we're not critting. It was kind of awkward. We needed to use vampirism there. We haven't NP'd quite as well. We didn't beat about the same, but because we already used vampirism and stuff, so ultimately we're definitely not getting as good of luck here. That makes me. I will say though, just looking at these 2 runs, there's no world where his overall win rate is good here. I think he might be able to win, but the win rate would be like 15%, 20%. I basically need to get my NP again. Even then, it's not going to be enough because we just do so little damage. I completely agree with Rex, and as I've said, I've used Scath a lot, and even if Scath's 3rd skill doesn't work, Scath is still very good. She's still very good. Certainly she's not like, you know, the best Lancer in the game. Like, of course, if I got my NP there, man, that is unfortunate. They get the attacks again. But she still has, you know, the big crit buff, big quick up, very hard hitting NP, guaranteed stun, you know, 500% stun. You know, there's still a lot in her favor, or she's still a very solid Lancer. Like, very, very solid. Like, still, like, up there on the tier list, right? But not like, you know, she's not the best, of course, without her 3rd skill. Like, she, you know, there's a very noticeable difference when she does and does not have her 3rd skill. Maybe we get lucky and she like double buffs and does a quick attack that doesn't crit, but other than that, we're dead here. You can do it though. You can see that. I mean, literally, we're 1 turn off, and we could have gotten 1 turn of value through like critting more and getting better loops and stuff like that. So it's possible, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, and also she's one of those other units that has a 5-turn evade. That's a huge part of why she's so good. Because stun buys her a turn, and then she's got the lower cooldown evade. And those 2 things combined, how they play off each other, just results in a lot of survivability. Honestly, I would not be surprised if Scath could solo this without ever casting her 3rd skill. It'd be tough, but she probably could do it. And of course she'll win if you do use her 3rd skill. Let's see, who to test next. Boy, I wish we had a better CE for this. It's, you know, you really want starting MP for this fight, but Aussie would be a fun one. Do you like Aussie and Quetz? Scath? You know what, let's do it. Now, I will say, because Rex's Scath is such a standard power level Scath, I think she would definitely need the third skill. But if you had a level 100 Scath and all that, I think she could do without the third skill. Yeah, we'll do Scath. Then maybe we try Scath, we'll do the third skill, but then maybe we try even the 91 without it and see what happens. Tame Lancer's okay, but she's nothing phenomenal. Let's let Rex give command codes, because command codes are really important for this kind of thing, so we'll let Rex do that. Let me use, find someone to use while he does that. Let me think, what do we want to... We've already done Penis here in the past, and she didn't have too hard of a time. It was a little hard of a time, but it wasn't too bad. Or Brunhilde, there we go. I like that. Anniversary Blonde, maybe? Yeah. Where's Anniversary Blonde? Okay. It looks so different! I don't want to give command codes, but they're so helpful, Rex! Baldi can beat this, but you need a lot of RNG. But we've literally beaten this with Baldi before, but it was very tough. But if things go well, he can pull through. Like no NP gain in his hand, but at least someone else got an art card, so that helps a bit. Why does Brunhilde float, but when she's that close to the ground? Okay, these hands have not been good at all. Like, this is quite crappy. Could look fancy. I mean, to be fair, if you could float, it makes a lot more sense to float. But, why hang out so close to the ground? I almost want to do something really stupid here. No, well, this just... I was thinking maybe we try to crit without using the thing, but like, let's just take the valley where we can get it. Also, this crit spread. There's only one card that has just no... You know, oh my, okay. It could crit anyway, right? We failed a 90% crit earlier, so... You know, we can have the flip side of that, right? Yeah, honestly, Tam stunning herself is not a problem at all. It's so easy to play around that. Well, no crit. I like that extra attack. Cool. Yeah, I was wanting to like use the crit bomb now, right, with the crit up. I don't know, maybe the 3k heal doesn't matter enough, and maybe we should have just used it. I mean, it could definitely buy us a turn. I guess we'll see where our health ends up this turn. And we could get a bullshit crit on this turn. Nope. Don't kill me. Woo! Okay, so I think I made the better play But I actually made the wrong play, because I have over 3,000 life right now, which means I could have used my crit buff when I had the Buster up and everything else. But I would say quite often that 3k health would be the difference of you dying there or not. So it gets right in that you know, iffy gray space, so. Yeah, Martha's good. Both of them, both versions of Martha are good. They're good for different reasons, dramatically, but they're both good. So, probably not gonna win, but still a respectable performance. And Brunhilde doesn't really have a kind of kit that translates that well to a solo. You know, obviously your straight, you know, survivability and damage translates to a solo, and a unit survivability and damage is something that really matters in team play. But they all, you know, she has an abnormal amount of stuff that escalates and helps in team settings, right? So. I'll take that crit. And if she was super max, like level 100, all that, you know, bullshit, she could do it, I would think. Still be a little close, but... Alright, so the Scath we're going to use is pretty much in the exact same power range here, so that's kind of nice. Because they're both 90, I think, in P2. I think that Brunhilde might have been in P3. What was she? Can we see? Okay, so she was in P3. So this Scath is a bit disadvantaged, but her third skill is relevant here, so... I would say Atlas. Normally it's Atlas for her. The only reason you might not want to use Atlas here is just because this fight is pretty burst damagey. Yeah, Brunhilde has a slightly better craft essence and is a higher NP rank, so it does favor Brunhilde a chunk here, but not that much. But it's certainly, if we get the boss down to, like, you know, 15, 20k health, 30k health, and yeah, that could definitely make a difference. I mean, a lot of old summer units do not need to be buffed in any way. Guys, they gotta rate up Archer, Artoria, and Buffer. Like, she's still such a broken ass OP unit, it's ridiculous. Now, look, we got chat. We're by the seaside. Let's go. I love this song so much, dude. Like, give me a boat and let's go. Can I make some stars? I still stand by this to this day that Wind Waker is the best Zelda game. And in my opinion, by quite a lot. Like, I like it a lot more than every other Zelda game. And there's some other Zelda games I do really like, of course, but... I thought about not using it because using the battery on the next one is pretty big. See, I love that magic. She does not give a fuck about magic resist. Like, she literally does not give a fuck about magic resist because she has 500% chance to stun. Wow. Okay, yeah, Wow. Do I focus on NP gain or do I just go boom? This is tricky. Maybe we do the half measure. The half measure is you do Art Buster Buster, and that's still pretty good damage in NP game. Everyone wants boom. I don't think boom is right, but boom is fun. Damn it! Man! Not only do we do less damage, but we don't get as much NP gain because I didn't crit. Boo! So, the right play to make there, though, if you're not going for funsies, is you either do Art Buster Quick or Art Buster Buster, and what you do is based on where the crit chance go. And maybe you do Art Quick Quick if the quicks just really have the higher crit chance. Normally you end up doing Buster or Art Quick, though. No, I mean you do Art Buster Quick, excuse me, that's what you normally end up doing. Because if you're only doing one Buster card or one Quick card, you can pick between the best crit chances. And everyone thinks that her Buster cards give more NP gain than her Quick cards, but they don't. Because Quick cards get the benefit from being in the third place, where Buster cards do not. So the card in the second place is better to be a Buster card, right? Because a Quick card with a second place bonus instead of the third place bonus does not make as much NP as the Buster card. But the Quick card in third place does. So it ultimately just comes down to crit chances. Yeah, I know she has her NP. I'm just talking about, I want to look at the cards. Chat, there was, I knew, there was no world where I was actually planning on going. I was just wanting to look at the cards where I was explaining. So her hit count's pretty high. I'd like to make stars, but at the same time, it's good to be safe. I think we do a half measure. The old tried and true combo right there. So we failed a 60% crit and an 80% crit. So that's a lot of missed opportunities for some extra oomph there. Here, Gina. What's the best star gene checking out our MP? I'm pretty sure it's Buster Quick Quick, but if you get lucky, it's probably Quick Buster Quick. So you'd have to get very lucky. Like, that would probably peak higher, but on average, I think you're going to get the best out of Buster Quick Quick. I think. If there's any unit that's not true for, it's Cat, because of her weird hit counts. Like, it might be Quick Buster Quick. It might be. She's a really weird unit. She's one of the weirdest units, so. It also depends if you have your Quick up or not, I would imagine. I'm actually going to keep it slow mode just so I have more time to cancel if I need to. Because we might actually kill her right now. We have any? By the way, it's not even an RNG thing. It would have been impossible for the boss to have damaged us by this point. Oh, now we crit. Alright, we'll do it again without her third skill, and we'll play more seriously for that one, because I think we'll need to. Although I should do her second skill first, but it's irrelevant because the boss doesn't have enough health for it to even matter, but there was no reason to do it that way. Oh, slow-mo again. I think she's got it. And if she doesn't, she has evade, so... Oh, yeah. 90% crit fail. Okay, now we'll do it with outer third skill, and that's going to be a pretty tough test. Like, we'll be having to work for that one, because we didn't have to work for that at all, right? Because of the anti-divinity thing, we just killed her so fast that who gives a shit. And so the reason to not use her third skill is to basically show her performance if the enemy doesn't have divinity, right? Like, that's the point of it. Oops. Thankfully, divinity is a very common thing to fight, right? It's like I like units like this. Scath is so good if they have divinity. You don't care if they're not an archer or if they're not a berserker, right? If they're like a rider, Scath can still like completely fuck up a boss, right? If they just have divinity. And there's so many things with divinity that there's more than there are archers, right? So she's a really applicable unit very often. And if you are fighting an archer that doesn't have divinity, she's still great. That's the thing. Now this is, clearly not an archer, so it's a bit rough, but that's why I think Scath is great. Every archer or berserker you fight, Scath can be an excellent boss nuker. Excellent. And very solid survivability, gives stun for the whole team. It's awesome. So every archer you fight, Scath is applicable. Every unit with divinity, archer or not, she's applicable, except for maybe sabers. But, so that's a huge roster. And then the people that are berserker or archer and have divinity, then she's crazy applicable, and that's why I think she's very good. That's just there's so much content where she's amazing. Yeah, this is a good time for a prediction. Go nuts, chat. I'll do my best to play well. Let's hope we don't get shitty RNG, because this is going to be a toughie. I have so little faith that we'll get our MP at the start. I'm ignoring her Buster card there. Just give me the guarantee. I can't play either, Rex. Yeah, mods and admins can't. But I can look at the stats. Oh god, chat, how do I close these stats? They're covering my chat and I don't know how to close them. Oh god. There we go. That is not an intuitive UI right there. Wow, do I NP right now? Because I got quick. Huh. I guess we don't, just because a lot of times you wouldn't be able to. If you wanted to play for like winning, you should. But we'll just pretend we didn't get our NP. More fair that way. Because we got both our quick cards, that's such an unlikely term. Man, Degenerate making me feel bad. He's like still doing his commentating duty, but he's like, crying while doing it. That's just sad, man. Okay. Waste of a perfectly good battery, but it is what it is. Yeah, commentary. If you can even hear me, if your internet's that fucked, then it's like, who knows? Alright. Now, normally I would do this in the middle, And then like the best quick card, because then it's the same NP gain, you make more stars, and that thing's got star bomb on it, and that's super good. But we got that command code. And it's still a 70% crit. I think we do it. It's obviously pretty rare that I do Art Buster on here. Normally, I'm trying to get a big gain ASAP. What the fuck? Oh my god, Scat, what are we doing here? Why is... Holy crap, dude. That's a lot of NP. We would have gotten our fucking NP right there. That is some shit. That means that what I really don't like about that is it basically means that turn was wasted and I should have done damage. Because now I'm just gonna overcharge by so much that I would have just been better off going for the damage instead. Dude, if oh my god, if like the art card had crit, we could NP right now, and then when Luvia would NP later, we'd get, you know, all that NP gain. That hurts my soul, man. We're not out of this yet, but that's a big hit for our value. Because it's twofold. Not only do we just do, you know, less long-term damage and everything, but look at how much NP gain we're whipping here. Like you really would like to work towards the third NP with this part, which normally I think we would have been able to accomplish, but yeah, we whipped about 55-56% towards the next NP. That is brutal, dude. The music knows. We're not dead though. We're not dead though. The fear is she gets her NP again and kills us. That's definitely a possibility. And now we can't do a buff that says pants. I think we do it again. Come on, 60, 90, 100. Give me that 60. Give me that 60. Come on! What is Koo watching and she's just choking? I don't understand. How do you miss this many crits between 2 runs? Right? You had so many opportunities and we only needed 1. We only needed 1. It's not like we needed everything to crit. Like, what are you doing? What the fuck? Yeah, at least we have the battery now. I mean, I'm just gonna use the battery. It's still this stupid. And like, at least like an NP, right? But like, do you realize how much damage we've missed? Because okay, crits do double damage, so you're missing out on a whole card, right? You're missing out on a whole card, but then you have this, so you're missing out on more than a card. So we've missed out on like a turn and a half of damage. At least like a turn and a half of damage, right? Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, actually more than that, because on pure damage we missed a turn and a half, but because it meant we didn't get our NP earlier and we whipped that 50% gain towards the next one, I think we've lost like 2 to 2.5 turns of value here. That's bullshit. We're probably gonna die to the NP then. Like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna, because of this, we're gonna die to the fucking NP, and we would have won otherwise. It's so lame. I literally think we're not gonna. Everyone else has died to normal card damage, right? Okay, maybe we eke this out still. That was a lot of damage. I'm not gonna lie. That was okay. So I think we go deeps. Do we go deeps? If I had the Merlin command code, I might go NP gain, but that's fucked us so many times. I think we go deeps. Like, we still got the crit buff, so just fucking kill it for God's sakes. Scath, I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. Can somebody add up all the like high percent crits that we've missed? I don't understand. Thankfully, I think she's got this still. God, yeah, we got. Fuck you, boss. Like, fuck you. Jesus. I mean, on the plus side, it's really impressive that we missed that many crits and we whiffed our NP and we still won, right? Like that truly that shows what me and Rex were talking about. That Rex is a very good Lancer. I mean, he is, but that Scath is a very good Lancer even without her third skill. She's only level 90. She's just NP2, and that was godforsaken bad luck, and she still won, right? That's pretty fucking good. That honestly, without her third skill, she has had one of the best performances tonight. Not the best, but one of the best, and that's without her third skill, right? So, seriously, and that's level 90 NP2 for God's sake, so that's super fucking good. Alright, well, we'll have to attack you though, just to make sure nobody has any doubt of us winning here, but wow, now you crit? It doesn't, Scath, it doesn't matter anymore! What do you do? She's already dead! You couldn't crit earlier and like get your NP faster and any of that. No. Gotta just show off now. See, she was just trying to make, she was just trying to be dramatic. But yeah, Scath's overall survivability and damage output and even utility because of the battery now and the stun, because the stun is basically utility for the team. I mean, her value is massive, which I think she's really showing right here. And then if you have her third skill, then she's god tier. And that's why I'm telling you, she is fucking super top tier Lancer. Like, she's not quite as good as Enkidu, but that's because Enkidu is just Enkidu, right? We don't talk about that. But like, if I ever made a 5-star tier list, she would be one of the highest rated Lancers easily, because she wrecks any archer boss, she wrecks any berserker boss, she wrecks any boss that has divinity that's not a saber, and then if you have divinity and saber or berserker, then she super fucking wrecks, right? It's just amazing. So how let me see these details here on the poll. Jesus, that's a pretty good one actually. That was a good time for the prediction, by the way. Okay. Let me see. I kind of want to do it with Ku at some point, because I soloed this, I remember, with Ku before he got buffed. And, you know, he did no problem. But now that he's been buffed, it'd be kind of fun to see how he does in comparison. But maybe we do that in a little bit, just because I don't want to switch on the command codes. I would love to try a Grail Lancer Deer mid. That's as long as he's like, you know, oh, it's Max. Oh, I was about to say, as long as it's like 10-10-10 and stuff, but I have complete faith in Max having Deer mid ready to go. We'll try and Clown in a second. We'll do Deer mid then Clown. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, I'm so down for Max. Do I have you on this account? I feel like I might not, because I'm a heathen. Okay, here, let me get my code here. You know the drill. I'll make the 5-star tier list one of these days. I'm not that motivated because, like I've said this before, it's like, it's not really the kind of content I want to make, because it's the whole reason, the reason I made the 1 to 3-star video and the 4-star video, all the reasons I made those are not applicable to the 5-star video. So I don't really care to make it that much. Which hopefully I don't have to explain it more in depth than that, but I'm sure some people don't get it, but there we go. Max failure. That's so good. That's so fucking good. Oh my god. I enjoyed that. Okay. I'm assuming Lancer slot here. Alright, I'll explain it one more time. I've explained this so many times, I'm like, I feel like a broken record, and it's like bad for the regulars when you explain the same stuff over and over. But see,
I don't know why I have to explain this. This is so obvious. What do you think I make content for, right? Like, like, oh, there. Gabe would be proud. But it's like, I make content for free-to-play people mostly, right? Like, overwhelmingly, I make content for like a free-to-play perspective. And for like, and that's really applicable to like 1 to 4 stars, because there is a lot of variance in how good they are. And a lot of free-to-play people will have those servants. And it makes sense to like explain and share my knowledge of the game for those units. That doesn't matter with 5 stars, because first off, less people have them, and then there's so much more spotlight on them. Everybody knows. Now, who the fuck needs Green Man to explain how to use Merlin? Like, what? Like, who gives a shit? It's so arbitrary. Like, everyone cares. Oh, is he gonna put Castoria above or under Merlin? Who cares? Who fucking cares? It doesn't matter. Here's my explanation for them. They're both overpowered. We're done, right? It doesn't matter. Like, who gives a flying fuck, right? And so, like, 5 stars, less people have them. Everyone already knows, you know, pretty much how good they are. And then it's like, even the worst of them is at least good enough to be usable. The worst 5 stars are still good enough to be usable. Who gives a shit? Like, most of the like takeaway knowledge that might help a newer player get into the game and understand stuff is in the other videos. Like talking about like if they're good enough to work with a typical art setup or Buster setup, or, you know, work with Hans and stuff or not like that. All of that's applicable to the 5 stars, and all of them are good enough that they're all like, you know, at least average, right? So it's like, who gives it? It's so pointless, right? Like, people want the 5-star tier list video because they either want to be able to say, oh look, Green Man's an idiot because he said this and it should be that, or they want to just like have me validate the opinion that they already have. I don't care about that. I don't care about either of those things, right? That's stupid e-penis bullshit, right? I care about, you know, actually helping people and actually having a like, and people are always saying, you know, oh, just split the video up so it's easier to make. The whole reason I made the other videos is because I didn't want to do that, and I wanted people to have a one-stop shop. Just go there, click the time code if they want to hear a specific servant, and it's all there. It's not, oh, it's part 1. Oh, no, you gotta look for the part 4. No, it's in part 3. Like, no, you want one video, everything's there, just, right? And the whole point of those videos, which I explained in those videos like 80 times, was it's from a free-to-play perspective, and it's, you know, basically me sharing my knowledge for those, you know, kinds of things, and for challenge quests and main story and stuff. It's just, it doesn't matter for 5 stars, right? They're all good enough, and, you know, less people have them. So who, you know, everyone, literally people just want to see, like, you know, like, where I size up the, you know, compared to where they size people up, right? And sure, that can be entertaining to do, but it's not, I don't care, right? Like, it's not important to me, right? And like, because those videos take so much effort and I have to test so much, and my computer will explode trying to render the video, and it crashes along the way because file sizes should never get that large. You know, it's just, I can't be bothered. Now, at some point I will do it because I like to hear myself talk, and because, you know, so many of my fans want it. And also because eventually I'm going to upgrade my hardware on my computer and stuff, and it won't explode when I try to make a video like that. And so at some point I will probably make it, right? But another thing is, like, when I go to make it, I have to put almost everything on hold for like 2 weeks, or I have to like work myself to death, right? Like, you either, you know, stream, and then after the stream you work on the video until it's done, and you literally are working all day from, you know, start to finish. Or you work on the video, you know, and you don't do other things like, you know, streaming and making normal videos until it's done. But, you know, then everyone's like, why aren't you making videos, and why aren't you streaming, right? So it's just not, it's not a good fit for me right now. You know, maybe someday, I'm not gonna promise it, because, you know, it's a lot of fucking work. And like I said, it's easy for me to put in that work when I care, right? It's easy, and that's the thing, when you care about what you're doing, you don't work a day in your life, right? That's like a famous saying. So like, because I had passion, and I wanted to be, you know, share my knowledge in a way that would be useful to a demographic that I care about. My videos probably aren't useful to other demographics, but I don't care about them. Fuck them, right? So I had a lot of motivation to make those videos. I don't have any motivation to make the 5-star video at all. So, and it's a massive undertaking, so no motivation, don't care about it, it's a pain in the ass, right? So it's, you know, it's pretty low on my to-do list. I'm not gonna, I like how all of our command codes that go on cooldown, we have right now. That makes me almost want to do the Arc Chain. No, well, that's enough damage that we should just take it. That is painful, though, that we're yeeting all of the good command codes right now. At least we're yeeting them on the first turn. What's really painful is when you don't get any of the cooldown stuff on turn 1, but then you get them all on turn 2, and you have to use them. Because then, like, their cooldowns are longer, right? Because you used them more recently. And if you use them on turn 1 and you get them back on turn 2, it doesn't, like, extend the cooldowns, right? So if you're gonna have to see them and use them at the beginning, you'd rather it be like that. And Max has good taste, by the way. Okay, let's see how we do here. Now, I really dislike that she has her attack up and her defense up. That's not ideal. What do I have command code wise? Okay, we cannot get rid of those. Guess I just do that and that. Part of me wants to evade instead of the attack down, but we'll see what happens. This might be a real mistake. I'm telling you, this would be looking pretty nice if she didn't have the attack up and the defense up right now. Because I'm like, yeah, we won't take too much damage. Oh! Excuse me. Dear Mid removes buffs. Remember when I talk about how people are always saying Dear Mid's not that good, and they never even talk about the fact that he has buff removal? And if they do talk about it, the only thing they say is, oh, it does it after damage, and therefore it's useless. But that's bullshit, and that's stupid, and that's like, you know, just dumbass, you know, shower thought. Yeah, there's so many buffs you want to remove, regardless if you do it before or after damage, like crit up, attack up, you know, guts, heal. Like, there's a million buffs you'd want to remove before or after damage, right? And this is one of those situations. Like, sure, it'd be better if you removed them first, right? But it's not. The fact that it just removes buffs, period, is a very nice thing to have. I've said this so many times. Dear Mid is not the best 3-star in the game, but he is totally fine. And I actually think he's quite good, and I think people are so wrong when they act like he's like garbage, right? It's ridiculous. Like, all you need to be a solid 3 stars, an upgraded NP, or a bunch of damage up skills, or both, that's really good. But if you have one or the other, you know, it's good. And then you got some kind of survivability skill, right? It's for a 3-star, it's a nuker, obviously, a boss killer. Like, he hits every checkbox for what a budget boss nuker needs, right? Is he the best? No. But, like, he gets the job done. And in certain niches, he can be pretty good. Now, that being said, I would be happy if he got buffed, so he could be a bit more comparable with Ku and stuff. Like, of course, I'd be happy if he got buffed, but, you know, it's not that big of a deal, like, for God's sakes. Like, he's a lot better off than a lot of other 3-stars. The Star Gem on Dear Mid's 3rd skill, I'm pretty sure it's like, what, 50% or something? The problem with it is his hit count is so low, you can't really capitalize on it. So, that's one of the bigger problems with him. It's 25 or 50%. I think it's 50 off the top of my head. Let me look real quick. It's been a while since I've looked at his skills directly. Yeah, it's 50. What a buff I would love for him, because this would affect his performance on many fronts, is this is a really small buff you might think, like, oh, that's not going to be enough. I think this would be enough. Add to his 3rd skill, Musashi's hit count increase. That's all you do. Because that would make him better in a lot of fronts. First off, that instantly makes the Stargen aspect of the skill go from being not so helpful to actually pretty fucking helpful. And then it also means he has better NP gain, which means more buff removal and, you know, more of his upgraded, and, you know, more of the good stuff, right? So that'd be a pretty impactful buff. Yeah, he's not gonna be like better than Ku by just doing that, but that'd be pretty awesome. And then also his 3rd skill has such a short cooldown, right? You'd be able to do it a pretty decent amount. Now, if you wanted to really boost him, maybe you do that, and you also add some kind of damage skill to it, or some kind of utility skill to it, right? You could go farther with it if you wanted to. But that simple change would be pretty big for him. I think I still have defense up. If I'm ever going to try to get another turn out of my health bar, now is the time, because I have the defense up. And then I do... But I could do the invulnerability and then try to get a turn when I have the defense, or the attack down. Yeah, that's it. I use the invulnerability now then. But yeah, if he had a damage up skill also on his 3rd skill, that would really help him. Because although he does have an upgraded NP, he has no attack up, he's got no quick up or anything like that, or crit up. So he's not like some amazing nuker, but he's, you know, got solid nuking for what you need him to do. Okay, please don't resist this. She's been guarding a lot on our NP there. Okay, we got it, thank goodness. If I can survive to get my evade back, I'd be very happy. Because the thing is, we've used a few 3 stars today and they've done decently well, but that's because we've used like literally the best 3 stars, like 100 face. Most 3 stars, even if they're grailed to 99, cough, 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 they're not going to do so well here. Like, they're really not. Like, most 3 stars, even if they're grailed, or 1 to 3 stars even, are going to get pretty shit on here. You know, most units aren't 100 face or coup, right? But I would love to test him against is actually a grailed Ushi. That's kind of a fun comparison there. I actually think he might do better than her here just because of his buff removal and, you know, he's in his niche. It'd be close, but I think he might actually do a bit better than her. Now, if he wasn't in his niche, I think she's guarded every single curse we've ever tried to apply. And over the course of this fight, that's not that much damage, but, you know, it'd be like an extra, you know, normal card here and there. Please don't kill me. Fuck. Man, if we had lived there, we could have done our evade again, and then probably could have NP'd again. So we could have gotten another chunk in. So honestly, I think that was a pretty decent performance, and it could have been a little bit better. Like, of course, not the best of the 3 stars, but I'm telling you, if we use like every 3 star ever here, he's gonna do better than average. So many 1 to 3 stars will just get fucking blown up here and get almost nothing done. Yeah, both Parvati and Fionn are both extremely good units. Fionn is just one of the easiest units to spam an NP on, especially for a 4 star. And he also has survivability, and he also has taunt, which is awesome for boss fights. And I would hope I don't need to. I would really hope I don't need to explain why Parvati is good. I don't know any player that is actually good at this game that thinks Fionn is low tier. I literally don't know any. The only people I know plenty of people that think Fionn is low tier, but ain't none of those people have any idea what the fuck they're talking about, and I have absolutely no like respect for their opinion in terms of like evaluating gameplay. So, like, I'm not exaggerating. I don't know anybody that's really good at this game that thinks Fionn is a bad 4 star. Now they may disagree on like how good he is, but I don't know any that think he's bad. Because someone, what's the argument here? I think someone is saying Parvati and Fionn are bad. What's the point? What's the, whatever their reasoning was, I missed it, so I can't really have a conversation here. Fionn really didn't need the last buff he got. The other 2 were totally fine. The last buff was a bit more than he needed, to be honest. Parvati and Fionn outdamage Reshgal, that makes her bad. Okay, that's fucking stupid logic. Obviously, they're abnormally good 4 stars, but Reshgal has so much more going for her other than just her raw NP damage. Like, I don't know, literally everything else in her kit. Like a 50% battery, all the fucking buffs. Like, she has so many buffs. Like, have you looked at her toolkit? Like, of course, if you're trying to make big numbers in 1 turn, she's not going to be the highest. But if you want it, like, good numbers over the course of several turns, she does very well. And there's more to boss fights and stuff than just damage, right? Like, Reshgal is like, it's weird to me because a lot of people are like, oh my god, Reshgal is disgusting. But then there's like this group of people that act like she's bad. Like, okay, look at this. She has invulnerability, right? That's good. Then she has, you know, a chance to have debuff immunity and all that other stuff, which that's, you know, random, but it's not bad that it's there. You would rather have a chance to get debuff immunity and death immunity and all these things opposed to just the invulnerability. Like, so she's guaranteed to have debuff resistance for 1 turn, which is really good because it's high enough debuff resistance that most things won't work on her. Oh, I'm sorry, buff removal resistance. That's really niche, but that's good, right? It's 80%, so there's 80% chance to. I literally forgot she had that she had an 80% chance to not have her buffs removed. I completely forgot that she had that. I don't know why. I just literally forgot she had that. So that's unreliable because it's 80%. But it's still, these are nice niches to have, right? You'd rather have these things than just the invulnerability. But the invulnerability alone means like, okay, she's, you know, got some solid survivability, which is what you want out of a DPS unit. Massive buster up. which is, yes, with everyone's like, oh, even with her buster up, her NP still doesn't do that much damage. That's stupid, right? Like, because it does more than just make her NP do more damage. And honestly, her NP still does pretty solid damage because she gets the attack up, the buster up from the overcharge, and then the other buster up. It's pretty fucking good damage. It's not a problem, but it also means her crits like explode, right? She can seriously, you know, like overall her damage is better than Fion's. It is. I love Fion, but overall the Reshigal's damage is better because her attack stat is overall better, and like she has this giant buster up. And if she does like a buster card with her NP, it's just way more damage in total than Fion's gonna do. Like his NP alone might do more than hers, but that doesn't mean he wins out in the end, right? There's more to damage than just your NP. And then her third skill is just awesome. Like Jesus Christ, her third skill is awesome. She gives everybody NP generation up, defense up, and then more HP, so like a heal. So she heals, defense up, NP gain, 3 turns. You know, that's fucking great. Like, and then if she does her NP with that, you know, everyone gets the attack buff. There's no world where that's bad. Giving all your team attack up, all your team defense up, all of your team health up, and NP gain rate up, that's really good. Having really high normal card damage is really good. And then also because she has the 50% battery, she's able to double NP with no effort whatsoever. And if she's working with like Waver or Merlin, you can triple NP with like no effort whatsoever. There's no world where this is bad. Is she the best Lancer in the game? Nope, because some of the best Lancers in the game are just truly disgusting and they can do so many, you know, crazy things. But that is so much in one toolkit that is so applicable to so many. It's so easy to just like, oh hey, she lives and does damage and helps the team out, right? It's so easy to get good value out of her. Like seriously, I use Fion a lot. I really like him. I have him in a very high NP rank. Use him all the time. But overall, Reshigal's damage is absolutely better than his, just because his normal card damage is very noticeably behind hers. Like very noticeably behind hers. And that can really matter. It doesn't always matter, but it can matter in a lot of situations, especially again from a more free-to-play perspective, where you're not LOL double Castoria Waver, you know, or Nero Bride and shit, and just 3-turn everything like that. That's not the world that most people are living in. But yeah, I totally forgot that she had that buff removal resistance. That's the nice thing is though, if you do use her with a unit that does buff success chance up, you can guarantee it. So there's a few boss fights that you can really take advantage of that. Rare, definitely rare. All right, it's clown time. Karna is a really good, here's the thing. All of the AoE Lancers for 5 stars, right? Just for 5 stars. All of the AoE Lancers are not really as good as a lot of the counterparts in other classes. Like, they're not, like the best AoE Lancers just aren't really on quite up there with the best of some of the other ones. Now they're not bad. I'd say they're better off than Sabers for the most part. I think Saber, with like the big like Buster AoE Sabers, I think they're kind of noticeably behind the other classes in that department. But they're doing a lot better since they've buffed them a lot lately, and they've definitely been doing better. Alright, but you know, Reshigal's very good. Like seriously, she's very, very good. You know, I would not mind them buffing her, right, and you know, making her maybe a little bit better. But she'd pretty. If I was gonna make a list of the things that deserve buffs, right, based on their rarity, performance, length in the game, and everything, she'd be pretty fucking low on the priority list. I'm not gonna lie, because she performs very solidly. She's one of the few AoE units that does so well that she can work in single target situations, just because of her giant fucking buster up and NP spam and everything. Doorman's nails are pretty wild. Yeah, you can't say that because one thing in their kit is not amazing that you just ignore something else in their kit that's amazing. That's just stupid. Oh, thank you for the 10 bits, man. What's your thoughts on people who think that Excalibur and Caliburn are the same sword? I mean, there's literally no reason to think that they're the same sword because absolutely nothing suggests that. Now, what is suggested, and I think which this is what's going on, is that they're both, you know, made from like a similar material, and they're both, you know, made by, you know, made in Avalon or, you know, something like that. Like they're both, you know, kind of coming from the same source, right?
but there's literally no reason to think that they're the same sword. And you know, maybe some of the pieces of Caliburn were, you know, molded into Excalibur, but ultimately they're different weapons and have different abilities, and but they have some similar properties. But I think a lot of that just comes from them both in the Land of the Fairies, because just like the other sword that Merlin has is probably just some other sword that was crafted in Avalon, right? It's that simple. So I think they kind of intentionally are kind of random about it, and the reason they're kind of random about it is because it's just like in reality, the history of Caliburn and Excalibur is weird. Because originally it wasn't either of them, and then it was just Caliburn, and then Caliburn kind of got confused with Excalibur, but it was kind of just like a name swap. But then they ended up making them two different swords entirely, right? And then different stories kind of had different takes on it. Some was just it was only the one sword. Some had neither of them. Some had both, you know, and some were kind of just replacing the name. So I think they're probably never gonna just explain, oh, this is exactly where Excalibur came from. This is exactly where Caliburn came from. Because I think they're kind of just referencing how in real life it's kind of weird, the relation between those weapons. I hate how I don't have my NP right now. Especially because, look at his deck. Look at his fucking deck. It'd have been so easy for him to have gotten his NP before the taunts died, or when the taunts died. I guess I battery just because I've got Atlas. I think I wait. No, I'm gonna cast this now. If anything, maybe I should have cast that last turn. The reason I didn't really want to cast it is because the crit buff doesn't... It matters a lot more from next turn on, where on this turn it's kind of whatever. I think I just need to start over though. It's too big of a hit to almost get your NP there to not get it. It hurts him so much. And it's so easy for him to get his NP. Like, I feel like 80% of the time you're gonna get it. And God, if you had the better Mystic Craft Essences, it'd probably be much higher than that. There's a few enemies and a few of the Lostbelts that would really give Gil a run for his money and stuff. And then, like, Zeus would be a real problem. Zeus might be able to beat Gil. If Gil was trying 100% though, using every of his best item from Gate of Babylon and A and everything else, he could probably have beat Zeus. He could certainly beat the Zeus we fought, because the Zeus we were fighting wasn't exactly fighting us at his best. But most of the Lostbelts, if there was no plot armor, no writing to get in the way, I would say Gil would wreck most of them. But 5 would be tough. 5 would be tough because there's a lot of OP shit in 5, and seriously, Zeus is just so disgusting. Like, he is so powerful. Like, especially Lostbelt Zeus, you know, he's stronger than he normally is. Let's do that. Arjuna also is strong, but he's not really up there with Zeus. I think Zeus is pretty noticeably stronger. And a lot of things about, and this affects Zeus too, but Zeus just has a way better toolkit for dealing with stuff like he's a floating head, right? So Chains of Heaven aren't even that big of a deal, right? Although Chains of Heaven actually do have abilities beyond just physically holding in place. That's why like Ilia's command spells weren't working on Hurt and things like that. And they've implied that many times, where there's a lot more to Chains of Heaven than just that. But, like, Arjuna wouldn't do so hot against just Chains of Heaven and Aya. Like, just Chains of Heaven and Aya, and you know, you throw in some spam with like Original Sin and stuff, and you know, you got a real problem. Zeus is a lot more prepared for that kind of thing. Yeah, I think people don't get Herc. Okay, several things about Herc, right? Herc does not have the highest divinity stat by any means, right? You know, God Juna has a higher divinity stat, Karna has a higher divinity. There's all kinds of people that have much higher divinity stats than Herc did. But then most of those people, Herc has more strength than, right? He is stronger than they are, and Chains of Heaven is weaker against him. And even Hercules really could not break out of Chains of Heaven whenever he wanted to. He could really only do it when he was super motivated because of Ilia, right? That was the whole point of that fight scene. And they've referenced this in FGO again, is Hercules went beyond what he should be able to do. He died more than 12 times against Gilgamesh. I'm not kidding. They straight up say this, that he exhausted his lives well over 12 and just kept going because he was that motivated.
which that doesn't really make any sense, but that's what they said, so fuck it. That's something that Hercules would not be able to do, right? Like normally a lot of situations with like if Hercules didn't like his master, he probably couldn't break out of the chains of heaven, or if he could, it would take a really long time because it took him. He was more motivated than pretty much anyone has ever been motivated in Fate, and he again has a higher strength stat than his divinity stat, and he still really struggled to get out of chains of heaven, right? Meanwhile, you have other, servants where they have a much higher divinity stat and a lower strength stat, and there's no way they're gonna get out of them. Like, there's just no argument. Their divinity stat is higher, their chains are gonna be even stronger, and their strength stat is lower, so they're gonna be worse at getting out of it. Like, they're donezo, right? There's no way. And then you have Tiamat, who even Tiamat struggled to get out of chains of heaven. But Tiamat also has like the most divinity you can have because she's just pure god, right? There's no mortal in there. It's just pure god or goddess in her case. But she also has an unbelievably high strength stat, and then she has the monstrous strength skill that temporarily gives her the strength of a titan, right? And even she had a hard time getting out of it. And I'm pretty sure because of the unique properties on her monstrous strength, she's pretty much one of the, if not the strongest thing we've seen in terms of just raw strength stat. So, and even she had a bad time. So, yeah, I don't see God Juna getting out of the chains of heaven. And his NP is strong, but I don't think it would. Here's the problem. This is the biggest issue Gil would have, and this is a real issue. Although I guess he wouldn't care because of the Lostbelt. Yeah, Gil. I actually legit don't think Gil would care because of how Lostbelts are. He would probably be happy. He'd be like, oh, this is an opportunity where I get to use Aya where I normally don't. Normally Gil is not willing to do, throw out max power Aya because he'll, fuck up the planet and shit. I was something in Fate Zero, he was happy to fight in the Reality Marble because he got to use Aya at a stronger level where he normally wouldn't. And I suspect in Lostbelts, Gil would not care about, absolutely, blowing off the top of the earth or whatever. But if that would be a problem, if he fought the Lostbelt version of God Juna in an area where he cared about the planet, he probably would not be able to use Aya at a level high enough to kill God Juna, and that would be a huge problem. But in the Lostbelt context, I don't think Gil would give a flying fuck, and he'd probably just blow him the hell up. I mean, you can't teleport when the whole world's on, blowing up. There's nowhere you're gonna teleport to. Like, have you seen what max power Aya does? Like, it literally engulfs the entire planet in the crushing void, right? That's what it does in Fate Strange Fate. The whole planet. And you can't teleport when you're in Chains of Heaven, and, Chains of Heaven have a lot of, weird properties. They're not, Okay, hold on, I need to, wait. Am my guts gonna wear off now? Okay, no, it's not. I would say, that could have been really bad if stun went off at the wrong time, but that's actually fine. There's a lot of stuff in some of the Lostbelts that would be quite tough, but there's really nothing in there that I think Zeus is the one that might win. I think Zeus might be able to get the job done there, especially if a circumstance unfolded where it was Zeus and other people. Also, I mean, Zeus is just, my God, he's got some pretty crazy shit. It's really hard to say what's stronger, Zeus's main NP or Aya at its absolute maximum. Although I doubt even on Lostbelt, I doubt Gil would use the absolute maximum Aya, but who knows? But there's really no way to know which one's stronger because a lot of things that are said about Aya are not really applicable because they've said Aya is the strongest noble phantasm that humanity ever possessed. Not created, ever possessed. So a lot of divine stuff has been possessed by humans, and so Aya is stronger than them. But none of Zeus's NPs have been possessed by humanity, so there's no scaling there. And then when they talk about Aya, when they talk about Aya's true strength, which they pretty much never use, but when they talk about it in comparison to an A triple plus noble phantasm, Aya is so much stronger that it's so off the charts. There's no point of reference that's very useful when you're comparing it to an anti-solar system. Both an anti-solar system, noble phantasm, and then the ludicrous number they slapped on Aya are so out of the ballpark of any frame of reference we have from other EX ranked NPs and A double plus and triple plus and stuff that it's who knows, right? That because literally Aya's 20,000 and then it's literally multiplied by an unknown amount based on how much treasure Gil has. Like, what does that mean? Like, so the A triple plus, which is stronger than Excalibur, A triple plus is, I think, is a power of 250, I think, it's either 200 or 250, I don't remember. And then Aya starts at 20,000 and then is multiplied by Gil's strength stat and then multiplied again based on how much treasure he has. So the number is some absolute insane bullshit that's so much higher than like what you'd see from an A double plus or an average EX that it's like, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know what that means, right? And then like what kind of number you would need to be an anti-solar system NP, I'm like, I don't fucking know, right? Because like Excalibur and everything are so far away from being an anti-solar system that it's like, I don't fucking know. I would bet on Zeus really at this point, just because Lostbelt Zeus is some bullshit. At least in terms of pure nuking, I would think. But in terms of, you know, I don't know how long it takes Zeus to fire that NP. I don't know how much mana it takes. Blah 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 blah. Where, you know, Aya can be fired pretty quickly and takes no mana because that's fair. You know, I really don't know who would win between Zeus and Gil, but I do think even if Gil did win, it would be very tough, and Zeus might be able to do that because Zeus was pretty broken by the end of Lostbelt 5. I will say this, it would be cool if Gil fought Zeus, especially if it was like no plot armor, because, you know, in a main story, it's like who they want to be the hero is going to be the one that wins, and you can't have anyone, you can't have side character. Joey can't beat Merrick, that's the name. You know, Joey doesn't get to beat Merrick because, you know, Yugi guy has to win, you know, stuff like that, right? So, you know, plot armor can really put a damper on these things, but wow, I think Clown Boy's gonna win. I gotta say, I'm pretty surprised by this. Yeah, if there's no plot armor, that's pretty neat because it'd be a unique circumstance where Gil would actually really care, right? Like, it's pretty rare that Gil actually cares and is like really motivated to really bust out, because even if he cares, a lot of times he's fighting something that he doesn't think matters very much. So he doesn't need to like use his fucking spaceship while also using his shields and his automated defense system and his clairvoyance and A, right? He's not normally gonna do shit like that. Like, what the fuck, right? But Zeus, of all things, I think would actually get Gil to give a flying fuck and use, you know, everything at his disposal to his best, because Zeus is so famous and is a god and is, you know, like, and he's, you know, someone Gil probably wouldn't like, but is also a god, so he's going to take it seriously, right? So it'd be really cool. But then Zeus, on the other hand, is just, you know, we got so many crazy, at least in Lostbelt. I will say this, I'm pretty confident that non-Lostbelt Zeus would lose to Gil because they've never detailed regular Zeus's abilities, but they were very clear that Lostbelt Zeus became significantly stronger than he originally was, like significantly so. And so I would think regular Zeus would probably get wrecked, but because, you know, regular Zeus couldn't beat the White Titan, right? Although he probably fought the White Titan last. I suspect if Zeus had fought even regular Zeus, if regular Zeus had fought the White Titan first, he probably would have won. But, you know, Lostbelt, you know, Zeus fought the White Titan pretty, you know, far in and still absolutely obliterated it. I feel like a lot of the confusion with Gil would go away if people would actually read Gil's character material book and if they would actually read what Type Moon said about Aya. That, like, they literally said it's the strongest noble phantasm humanity ever possessed. Right? Not created, you know, and that just instantly shuts down so many arguments. Like, you don't have to talk about it anymore on so many fronts because so many NPs that they compare it to have been possessed by humanity, right? And so, but they don't. Nobody reads anything. Wow, I didn't think he would beat this because he was AOE. I mean, I thought he would do well because he's got double guts and everything. But shit, and he beat it pretty handily. Because he's still got another guts, and we could potentially, you know, over the next 2 turns, we're probably gonna stun. So. And yeah, like shit, and now the curse is that, dude, our curse would start doing so much damage from this point on because we do our NP again and everything, so yeah, wow, he, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, if he beat it at 90, I'm pretty confident he'd beat it at 100. That is really impressive. That was really good. Although I guess he does have a lot of things that are helpful there, like with the utility, that really helps deal with
you know, what generally ends you in that fight, so. Yes, Gil has control over his clairvoyance. It's because Gil in Babylon doesn't have the item that gives him clairvoyance. So, I explained this before, but I swear to God, I'll explain it again. So, in real legend, like the real story, and in Fate, with no Gate of Babylon, no items, no stuff, just Gil being Gil, he has clairvoyance as an inherent ability of himself, right? And this is something in Fate anyway. There's certain people that have clairvoyance through like their own, without, you don't need a skill or an item, they just have clairvoyance. They're just psychic, I guess, right? But Gil only, he's regular old Gil, only gets that form of clairvoyance like in his dreams and stuff, and it's kind of limited. But then at some point in Gil's life in Fate, now this is not in the real legend, this part is not in the real legend. Everything I've said is accurate to the real Epic of Gilgamesh, but now we're going off the rails. This is not in the Epic of Gilgamesh. For some reason, Gil has an item in Gate of Babylon, and this is in his character material book, and they've referenced it multiple times. It's completely canon. He has an EX ranked Noble Phantasm in there that gives him EX ranked clairvoyance, and not only that, it allows him to look into any timeline that he wants, and if he wants to, he can obtain the memories of any version of Gilgamesh that he wants. Like, Gilgamesh, if he wanted to, in Heaven's Feel, could obtain the memories from Gilgamesh in Babylon, if he cared to. A lot of times he won't because he doesn't care to, but he can do that. He does it in Fate Hollow. That's why he has all his memories in Fate Hollow from the beginning, where everyone else doesn't have their memories. He does it in Fate Strange Fake. I don't even remember what he fucking does with it there. But he doesn't use it very often because, you know, Gil's a jackass. But Gilgamesh in Babylon is a human, not a servant. And he doesn't have access to everything in his Gate of Babylon like he normally would. Like he gave some of the treasures away, and some of it sealed away, blah blah blah. Like he doesn't have Ea and stuff like that, and he does not have his EX ranked clairvoyance, but he still has his inherent clairvoyance that he just has. Now they don't say that he does this. Nothing says that he does this, but I would assume he does this because it just makes sense. So when Caster Gil dies, he summons himself because of course Gil does that. But when Caster Gil dies, he summons himself, and that's why Archer Gil shows up. And due to the way he behaves, I overwhelmingly think Archer Gilgamesh uses the clairvoyance, and he obtains the memories of dead Caster Gil. They don't say that, but I overwhelmingly think that's what happens, and that's why he's like, you know, at the end, you know, he knows like what's going on with the main character and everything, because I think he just, you know, yeeted the memories, right? Maybe he didn't, but overwhelmingly, like his behavior at the end overwhelmingly makes me think that he did that. And it's just, he had already, you know, confirmed what that Noble Phantasm did in the past anyway, so I think that Natsu just assumed that. Like, I'm overwhelmingly, I think that's the case. And also, for some fucking reason, Gilgamesh has the ability to summon servants on his own because, you know, he needed that ability, but, you know, that's a thing. Yeah, Caster Gil dies and summons Archer Gil. And presumably he uses his corpse as the catalyst because, you know, why not? Alright, who do you want to test now, chap? Well, Gil legitimately is plagued by, you know, being a cocky asshole, but, you know, they kind of use that as an excuse to make him extra stupid for just the sake of the plot, right? So, I mean, ultimately the writing does kind of run his day. And like, you know, that's what Nasu says, you know, in Fate Zero, the writing doesn't force them to get rid of him, and he's actually allowed to, you know, be OP, and thus he is more OP in Fate Zero. It's really weird to me that people think Gil is, like, not as strong in Fate Zero, and Nasu says the opposite, and it's obvious, like, that's the opposite. I mean, we can try Jin K, but that's just going to be depressing. Like, it's just going to be sad. Himiko, that's an interesting one. Okay, why not? That's, I don't think this will work, because she's not the best, you know, like I always say, a lot of things in a solo translate to team play, because it shows the raw value and, like, survivability and damage, and those are always good. But there are some things that don't translate, like Star Absorb doesn't translate, and then she's got an ability where she makes more stars based on the amount of teammates that she has. So, that obviously doesn't translate to a solo, right? There's a lot of things with her that,
don't really work. She's definitely a pretty team-oriented one. They've never said if Gilgamesh is good at hand-to-hand or not. He is in the real Legends, but they've never said in Fate. I've always said I thought it'd be really cool if at some point they showed that he is at least, you know, decent at hand-to-hand, because that is such a thing in the real Legends. We shall see. Maybe in Fate Strange Fake, you know, maybe it'll happen, we'll see. Okay. So, Luvia's demonic, right? Like, clearly. Made 16 stars. I mean, I'll make more stars next turn. This is tricky. I don't think I used I think I used the bus trap next turn. Let's do this. That looks like a really weird turn. Maybe get a little bit of damage in now, and then hopefully make enough stars to get something done next turn. I almost wonder if I should have gone Anniversary Blonde. I'm not sure, I don't think they're gonna have Kid Kill ever use Aya, but if he does use it, it is weaker than a Don't Kill because, you know, he's not as strong and stuff like that. But it's still really strong. Wow, that is so lame that we just lost that much life. I will say, Himiko is just so disadvantaged here because, you know, Berserkers are disadvantaged here too, but, like, Rulers are so not balanced for the enemies doing, you know, normal damage to them. I'm thinking Anniversary Blonde would have been better though. The only thing that could mess up Orion is if you just, the RNG is really messed up at the beginning and you just die really fast, right? That would be the nightmare. She could probably beat this though if you got a little lucky, because we did not. If you got a little lucky and maybe you're upgraded a bit more and you just get some crits, right? Like, she's not that far off from doing it. Like, if you're able to get some NPs going, like, if we got another crit turn in, we would win. Like, if we got a nice big juicy crit turn here, we would fucking win. But we're kind of at the, you know, we're kind of done now, and maybe I should have made stars there. But like, she doesn't even have command codes, I don't think. I think she can do this, actually. Give her command codes for Star Bomb and shit like that. I think she could do it. Because seriously, if we had like Star Bomb command codes there, and then maybe a Star Absorb on a Buster card, we could do some serious damage right here. Like, super big damage. Yeah, I don't know if she'd have like 100% win rate or anything, but feels like Scaff when we use her third skill definitely has 100% win rate here. But I think she can do it. Because 280k may seem like a lot, but with the way she plays, it's, you know, if you just get another good turn in, you'll do it, so. Yeah, this is Wicked, Wicked Flight. There's several songs in the OST that have Wicked in the name, so it's kind of confusing. Alright, well, people have been asking for Orion all night, so We'll get some Orion in here. Now Orion's in P1, right? So far from his best damage, but I think he'll be able to get the job done anyway, as long as we don't get really unlucky. King Potato Chips and Jin K is so gonna lose. She's not even gonna get close. I don't even know if I have Vol added on this account. I don't think I have a King Potato Chips either. Wait, no, I do because of Maniac. Then Luvia solo raid boss Orion. Yeah, that's pretty much what this is. Well, we got our NP already, so that's kind of bad for her. So I kind of, you know, NPing now is fine. You could go for like a second NP, but then also you kind of want to just make stars. I think the stars are more important. I don't think we go for a double NP, honestly. I don't think it's necessary. And like, if the fight was gonna go on longer, sure, but it's not. So I think I do that. I mean, it is canonical that Gilgamesh does not take Shiro even remotely seriously. That is the point. And that is why, when Natsu explains why, you know, why Gil could beat everyone in Fate Stay Night, and then he gives an example of like why he lost his route, the reason he lost in the Blade Works is pride, right? Because not only does Gil not want to, he literally does not want to take Shiro seriously because he sees that as losing, but he doesn't even want to back up. That's like a huge point, and that's why at the very end of the fight, he does take a step back and he sees that as losing. You know, he didn't even want to, you know, back up and, you know, kite or anything. He didn't want to do any of that. He didn't want to use his armor. He didn't want to use his non-blade weapons because he wanted to beat Shiro at his own game, because Shiro copies, you know, Unlimited Blade Works automatically copies blades, but it doesn't copy like ships and shields and guns and, you know, maces and, you know, weird crap like that, which Gil has in spades, but he didn't want to do any of that. Like, he literally wanted to beat Shiro at his own game, and you know, he's not using, I mean, just not using his armor is such an obvious sign of him not taking it seriously. Because if Gil wore his armor, Shiro couldn't even hurt him anymore. Excalibur can't get through Gil's armor, right? You know, fucking Emiya's dinky C rank Noble Phantasms are not getting through that anytime soon, right? Also, I like how everyone acts like Shiro won when Shiro didn't even win. Like, literally, Shiro doesn't even win. Emiya does, right? Shiro still fucked it up and didn't kill Gil, and Gil could have recovered from the damage he had taken, right? You know, Gil saw it as a loss just because he had to, you know, he had to back up and everything else. But, you know, Shiro ran out of gas and was done, and that was that. The only reason Shiro didn't die was because of Angra and Emiya. That's the whole, if Angra and Emiya weren't involved there, Shiro was just dead. And I mean, Shiro was out of mana. Little Blade Works was over, and Shiro could barely move. And although Gil had a fucking, you know, giant gash in him because, you know, he's a fucking servant, it didn't matter. And Gil would have just killed him. But Gil saw it as a defeat because Gil had to take it halfway serious at the last second, and he attempted to use Aya, and then he actually backed up. And like the backing up was really what, you know, made him like, okay. Because in his eyes, taking it seriously was a loss. But if, like, in reality, it's not like Shiro was going to result in Gil dying and fading away, right? That was Angra and mostly Emiya. Which, by the way, Emiya still being around at that point in the story is a little absurd. But welcome to Fate Stay Night. All right, let's see how much damage we can get here. I like how I don't really need to use my Star Bomb unless I get unlucky. So, 80, 90, 100. I mean, I shouldn't need it. The Emiya surviving is nonsense because it directly counters the character material book. But, like, Unlimited Blade Works really only counters Gate of Babylon if Gil is... Wow. So, we would have won that turn if I had used the stars. If I had used the stars, that 80% wouldn't have failed, and we would have killed her right there. I think Orion is good, by the way, guys. I think Orion is good. Call me crazy, but I think he's pretty good there. But, what the hell was I even talking about? Oh yeah, so like Unlimited Blade Works. First off, there's actually this is just I don't think Nasu thought of this. It's not like Nasu is a martial arts expert or a physics expert. I straight up don't think Nasu understands the logic here, right? So the reasoning that Nasu gives for Unlimited Blade Works, you know, being able to contend with the Gate, is because Unlimited Blade Works already has the items just sitting there. They're just sitting there, right? And so if Gate is, especially if Gate is only using blades, and you know Gil's not using the shields and the airplanes and the bombs and the maces and the axes and whatever. Or the axes might count as a blade, I'm not really sure. But the maces and the clubs and that and the vases, the exploding vases, that's the thing. You know, those things it doesn't automatically counter or copy, you know, store, whatever. But so there's a real logical flaw in the reasoning Nasu gives, and that's because, again, Nasu is not a master of physics or combat or any of these things. He's a writer, right? So, but yeah, the logic is the items are already there in Unlimited Blade Works, and it automatically copies new swords and blades and stuff that it sees. So they're already ready. Where, you know, Gate has to like ready them up. Although obviously Gate, if you were smart with Gate, you could be firing some by readying up more, right? So they can kind of both continuously go. But here's the huge flaw that Nasu has clearly not really even thought about. It's just anime logic, right? It is, yes, Unlimited Blade Works may automatically store blades, but that doesn't mean they're in the vicinity that you need them to be in, right? So let's say Gil busts out Original Sin, right? Really big badass sword. It's like A double plus or some bullshit. You know, it's very powerful, right? It's like A plus, A double plus. You know, very scary weapon. So most of the random swords in Unlimited Blade Works are not going to be able to contend with that at all, right? It'll beat the shit out of them. And also, you know, Gil will be firing a bunch of other blades with it, so you can't like focus all blades on that one. You have to kind of meet, you know, one blade to blade here, right? So if you have you know, when you automatically copy Original Sin, it could be on the other side of Unlimited Blade Works and has to travel an ungodly amount of distance to get over there. And in that time, Original Sin is already in your skull, and we're done, right? That logic is terrible, right? Like it's like shower logic. It's like, oh yeah, see, Unlimited Blade Works counters Gate of Babylon because the blades are already there. Forehead. Never mind physics, right? Like it's dumb, right? Like and if you watch the anime, it's like, what a miraculous miracle that every time Gil fires a blade, before it gets to Shiro, that same blade on Unlimited Blade Works just happens to be standing around nearby so it can get there in time, right? It's like, wow, that was lucky, right? Like, it's just stupid, right? Like, that, it's just, you know, movie magic, right? That's just, it's kind of nonsense. But, you know, Gil was being an idiot, you know, he didn't, it's weird to me that this is an ongoing debate. This is one of the most unending debates of all time. Is Shiro versus Gil, and like, did Gil throw? I don't know why. I don't know why. Nasu himself, the writer, has addressed it over and over again. And people in YouTube, I'm sure if you go to YouTube and look up a Gil versus Shiro, the YouTube comments are going to be full of, you know, people saying Shiro could have won anyway, or people saying no he couldn't, yes he could, no he couldn't. Like, you go to Reddit, Discord, this is one of the most unending debates ever, and it's stupid because Nasu has addressed it directly so many times. If Gil gives a shit, Shiro loses horribly. Like, and of course he does, right? Because, again, Gil wasn't using his armor. Gil didn't use Aya until the very end. You know, Gil wasn't using his non-blades. Gil didn't want to move. Like, it's like, how can anyone think that if Gil gave half a shit, Shiro is still going to win? Especially when Nasu has directly said the reason Gil lost was because Gil didn't give a shit and he was being really prideful. That is exactly what he said. So, like, and now if you want to say, oh, maybe, you know, Nasu's not thinking through it, you know, enough or whatever, you have to then actually provide an argument then how Gil's armor is not going to counter literally everything Shiro can do, or how Gil, using AF in the first place wouldn't counter everything Shiro could do, or how Gil using his shields from like Fate Strange Fake and Fate Zero wouldn't counter everything Shiro can do, or using his bombs or his fucking a spaceship, and I've never once in my life seen anyone address any of those points. Like, how is Shiro going to deal with all of those things? What I normally see is people say Gil doesn't have his armor in Fate anymore because he lost in Fate Zero, which is wrong, because he does have his armor in Fate Stay Night. He just doesn't use it unless it's the Fate route because plot. It's just nonsense to me. Like, it's weird that the writer can put this to bed and all the, there's no like reasonable argument in it. And then to be fair to Shiro, it's like, for a human, Shiro's, quite strong, and in those circumstances, Ren giving him mana and, all these other things, he's, you could beat some servants. He himself acts like he can't beat any servant other than Gil, but that's not really accurate. There are, like Trap Face. What's Trap Face going to do against Unlimited Blade Works, right? Make all the swords trip, right? Like, it's not going to work. Yeah, but Gil admits defeat because his criteria for defeat was backing up or using something that wasn't a blade. Like, that's the whole point. It's not like Gil was like, oh yeah, I totally just fought you at my absolute best and I lost anyway. That didn't happen. And then again, like, Nasu wrote those words, right? Nasu's got the pen. He wrote those words, right? And then he also wrote that if Gil gave half a fuck, he would have won. Like, I don't understand how people, like, how do you rectify these inconsistencies here, right? And not only did Nasu say that, Nasu has later gone on to say that if Gil cared to, he could end everything in Fate Stay Night in one night. Sakura, the Shadow, Shiro, Emiya, Lancer, Hurt, all of them. He could end all of them in half a night. So it's like, I don't know where this comes from. And my main argument is it's not just that if Gil gives a shit, he would beat Shiro. That's obvious. I literally don't think that's worth discussing as I discuss it. But like, it's such a stupid, like, it's so obvious if Gil gives a shit, he's going to win. It's obvious. My point ultimately is, I think it's stupid that he lost even when he didn't give a shit, because there's so much obvious contrivance. Like, I agree that Gil would be prideful and not try his best against Shiro. I completely think that is in character for him, right? 100%. Shiro is a mortal, non-servant, Joe Blow. He's a dude. He's some guy, right? Of course Gil is not going to take that seriously, especially from the get-go. Of course not. But they take it to a level, they have to have Gil act so stupid, it's not believable. Like, I've always said this, the whole reason, I'm so sure of this, the whole reason that Gilgamesh doesn't wear his armor for the entirety of Unlimited Blade Works is because they are aware that it would be stupid if for only the Shiro fight Gil was not wearing it. That's the whole reason he doesn't wear it for all of Unlimited Blade Works, is because that's like their out. That's their get out of jail free card for him not using it. Obviously it's so simple for him just to put on his fucking armor. For God's sakes, Gil normally wears his armor just to show off. It's not a sign of respect or anything. He's normally just wears it. He wears it for like every fight ever in Fate Strange Fake and every fight ever in Fate Zero and stuff. Like, it's not like it's a rare thing for him to put his fucking armor on, right? And so I think like when he got in Unlimited Blade Works, he would probably at least put his fucking armor on, but they don't do that because Shiro cannot possibly win. They already showed in the Fate route that Saber, who is much stronger than Shiro with Excalibur, could not get through Gil's armor. There's, random swords hitting Gil or Shiro, going cut, slice mode. That's not gonna work. Of course it's not gonna work, right? And so they're like, oh yeah, we have to Gil not wear his armor. Oh, that'd be really contrived if he wasn't wearing his armor. Just don't have him wear his armor for the entire route. There we go, right? That's super contrived. That's plot armor. That is pure plot armor, right? And then like, it's just a bit too much for me, right? And that's the problem with Gilgamesh. This is what like me and Ari are always saying. This is why you either don't make Gil that fucking overpowered, or you don't use him for every fucking story, right? That was like the real mistake I think in Fate Stay Night, was trying to make Gil. Really, they could have just had him like be active in only one route and just have him like observe in the others, because that's pretty in character for him to not really give a fuck. Trying to use him as like a major antagonist for 2 routes and then trying to make an excuse to not use him in the 3rd route, that doesn't work very well, right? Because they made a bullshit, overpowered character, and then they want to use them all of the time. It's bad writing. It's just bad writing, right? Because I've always said this. You could have made Gilgamesh really strong, but not that strong. Now, it's kind of messed up now because we're looking at this in a world where, you know, Fate Grand Order's already been written, Fate Zero's already been written, Fate Train's Fake, Fate Requiem, you know, Fate, you know, Applesauce, right? All these other stories have been made, but they kind of were made, you know, in spirit of Fate Stay Night, right? And so Gil is supposed to be really fucking bullshit strong, so all the news servants we're supposed to see, most of them aren't supposed to be, like, on his level. But so if they had written him weaker back in the day, you'd be like, oh, that wouldn't really work now in the modern times. But then they could have just changed, like, the power scale that they were aiming for, right? That's the whole thing. Because in the universe that they made, you know, things are more powerful the older they are, generally, and they're more powerful based on how strong they actually were in life, and then how famous they are, right? And then also they're strong based on what was in their actual story, right? That's kind of the rules of Fate, right? And then, you know, another big rule is, you know, these ancient treasures and stuff are very powerful. You know, noble phantasms, you know, a lot of the treasures in the world from myth and legend are these things called noble phantasms, and they're very powerful, right? So we have the oldest story in human history. This is an irrefutable fact. We have the oldest story in human history. We have a king that had every single treasure on the planet, and that also most other stories and legends and religions and stuff are derivative of. Of course, that's going to be overpowered, right? Like, how is that not going to be overpowered, right? But the problem is you could have made a character that was like that and within these rules and not made him that broken still. You still could have, you know, made it a bit more reasonable so you didn't have to be so bullshit all of the time. You needed him not to be the main antagonist or protagonist, right? And that's why now they make, I'm about to credit Proto-Gil, but to be fair, they haven't detailed Proto-Gil enough, and I swear to God, I'm gonna eat my words, they're gonna add Proto-Gil to something, and they're gonna detail his abilities better, and he's gonna be completely broken bullshit, and I'm just, okay, whatever. But as of right now, I think Proto-Gil is how Gil should have been, because he's really strong, and you can easily say that's like, you know, a completely top tier, you know, bullshit OP servant, but it's feasible for him to lose, especially if he is being, you know, cocky and things like that, or if he's, you know, teamed up on, or, you know, certain you know, blah, 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 right? It's a lot more believable for Proto-Gilgamesh to be defeated, but he's still strong enough to be, like, a real intimidating presence, right? I think he's just designed so much better in terms of, like, his powers. Now, again, I am so suspecting to eat my words at this point. I'm telling, dude, I swear, I can just see it. They're gonna add him to, like, FGO or something, and they're gonna just put all this horse shit in his bio, and it's like, oh, by the way, he actually had Aya, he just didn't use it in Prototype, right? And I just, you know, throw my hands up, and that's that. But, you know, hopefully not, but we'll see. The thing is, no, see, someone just said Proto-Gil doesn't have Aya. We don't actually know that. Like, literally, tell me where it says Proto-Gil doesn't have Aya. Doesn't say that anywhere. What it does say is that he has this other EX ranked NP that does, you know, this, that, and the other, which let's not get into that, but, you know, water, anyway, but everyone takes that, the existence of that, as the confirmation that he doesn't have Aya. That's not, you know, that's not how this works, right? The confirmation that Proto-Gil has X does not mean he doesn't also have Y. Right? Like, it's like saying Gil doesn't have Enkidu because he has Aya, or because Gil has Aya, he doesn't have Enkidu, right? Or because, and remember remember those blissful days when we didn't know that Gilgamesh had another EX ranked NP, you know, that gave him Omega Clairvoyance? Remember those days? Right? So a lot of people would have thought, oh, Gil must not have another EX ranked Noble Phantasm because he has Aya. But oh wait, he does! Right? And they could, and sure, I would imagine if Proto-Gil has some other OP nonsense, it probably won't be Aya specifically, right? But it's not just like Gil. If we found out he had this bullshit. What is it even called? Can someone tell me the name of that other EX NP Gil has? It's some insane name that I'll never be able to pronounce. But anyway, you know, they could do the same thing for Proto-Gil. They're like, oh yeah, he doesn't have Aya. He just has like the sun. No, not Inky. I'm talking about a regular Gil. He's got no, how is anything I just said leading to everyone saying what they're saying right now? What? Like, how is anything that just came out of my mouth resulting in that? Anyway, but yeah, it's like, they could easily detail Protogil, like, oh yeah, he has like the sun in his EX rank, and there you go. Thank you, fuck it, somebody got it there. Yeah, of course I can't pronounce that. Shea, the Ibarui something, you know, whatever the fuck, right? But yeah, they pulled that out of their ass. They can pull any goddamn bullshit out of their ass for Protogil too. Well, I mean, we already won, right? Because we had double guts left. Like, we're good. I don't want to have to restart the app, so. What's funny is Gil could have gotten immortality. He just chose not to. He could have gone back and just gotten it again. But he chooses not to because, you know, he learns the value of mortality and you know, those kind. That's like the whole point of that thing. Alright, fine, we'll do Gen K. God damn it, this is gonna be such a shit show. Wait, I don't see it. Am I okay, don't answer if I'm blind, but I don't see it. I see no friend code here. I have been lied to. I mean, I literally just explained what's so special about Gil's armor. Do you think armor can normally block Excalibur? Cause that's not how that works. Like I don't know what else you want me to say. It's armor that can block Excalibur. That's pretty good. Volt, you have to send me your friend code. Because if I don't add, like, this is what I'm talking about. I have to explain this every single time. This is why I don't like adding people. You have to explain this every single time. Because if you just add me, you're never going to show up in the friends list. Because I have to do something to update the server. Because FGO is made by a dinosaur, and they don't know how to make an actual UI, right? If you both add each other, though, then it'll just automatically add the real thing to blame here is DW, by the way. Like, I can't even believe that's how this works, but, you know, every other, you know, game, you know, on the planet, you know, has actual friend invites that, you know, actually get sent, and you like, see them, right? Like, boy, that's a concept, but yeah, FGO over here in the tar pits, you know, can't figure that concept out. It's mainly because, like, the games... A lot of other games have like a constant connection to, maybe a soft connection, but most games will have some kind of like constant connection to the internet. So things like invites and things can just pop up. FGO doesn't do that. That's why if you actually lose, like say you're connected to your internet and your internet like has an outage, it won't actually kick you off until you do certain things, right? Because it's not actually referencing like the server until you try to like load a stage. Or you know, roll the gacha and shit like that. And so it won't actually check for invites. Right? It doesn't check for invites until it like touches base with the server. And what's really annoying, because I've tested this, there are certain things that it will touch base with the server, and it won't, while it's at it, it won't actually check to update the friends list. Only certain things do that. Relogging will do it. Refreshing, like having your friends list refresh, like from finishing a stage or failing a stage, shit like that. I would think just doing this might do it too, but things like that are like when it actually bothers to look. Well, the thing is, you know, Nasu is still going to be involved in 3.0, and I'm actually worried he's going to be super involved in 3.0 because. Like I said this before, it's like he wants to take a step back and let other people, you know, deal with it more and he'll be more in an advisory role. He said that, but I don't think he's going to do it because literally, like, I remember that interview where he said he was probably going to step away, you know, after 2.0 is finished, right? The next interview, then he's like, oh yeah, I'm working on the plot outlines for 3.0. It's like, you know, he's one of those guys that wants to, you know, work on other projects and wants to step away from things and whatnot, but he cares so much about the thing and he has so much pride in it that he can't do that, right? And so, you know, I've always said, like, he's lucky in that unlike like Sakurai from Smash, he still controls the IP, so it's not like nameless executives are gonna, give FGO, his direction to some random Joe Blow. Nasu can literally pick who he wants to delegate to. So he can pick a writer or a game designer that he trusts, right? Where like a lot of people in his situation, because a lot of people get in this spot where they really care about a product, they really care about an IP, like how Sakurai cares about Smash a lot and stuff. They care about it a lot, so they don't want it to be run into the ground. They don't want it to be milked or handled by people that don't respect it or care about it, right? But at the same time, they don't want to work on it all the time, and they want to work on other things. And, but because like Sakurai doesn't own, Nintendo, right? He doesn't. So it's like if he doesn't make Smash, people outside of his control are going to give Smash to God knows who. He has no idea who. It could be anyone, and it's likely going to be someone that's just going to be money grubby and fuck it up. So his only way to preventing that is working on it personally forever, right? So he's fucked, right? Nasu is not in that situation. Nasu is in a similar situation where he does care about the IP a lot, and he, okay, Jinkei needs cards. But because Nasu completely controls the IP, he can delegate to anyone he wants. Anyone he wants, right? And he can still play somewhat of a role, but not like a huge active role. Where, with Nintendo, it's pretty much all or nothing, I would imagine, in Sakurai's case. But like, if Nasu wants to be like, yeah, make sure you don't do this, that, and the other, and I'll kind of check in for, a few key things when, that kind of stuff. But, he could literally handpick whoever he wants to run the show, and so he could pick a writer that he trusts. Because, Natsu's actually, friends with a lot of writers in the industry. So he's, like, fortunate like that. But to me, it's just obvious that he's the kind of person that, like, really struggles to, let go like that. And, I mean, fair enough. And a lot of people are like that. They've got their baby and they don't want to, they can't trust someone else running off with it, right? They got, even if they trust that person, it's hard for them to do that. And yeah, it's overwhelmingly that, because Nasu's always so back and forth, and like, if he wants to take a step back after 2.0 or not. I think he's going to, but I think he'll keep coming back more than he should, right? I do think just for his own sanity, I think he is going to take a step back after 2.0. And he so clearly needs to after the last few interviews. It's just obvious that he needs to. And it's good for the game to have some fresh eyes on things, right? It's good for everybody, right? But yeah, I just hope he delegates to somebody that makes sense, and then he goes do some other things. But we'll see. Maybe he'll be working on it forever, and I think that really is bad for everyone, because it's not good for the series if he burns out. That's the thing. It's bad for the series if he burns out, right? So yeah, it's in the long run, it's short-sighted to not. Okay, that is 2 turns in a row that Jinkei has gotten 0 cards. Great. Delegate to the person that wrote Septum. So obviously that sounds really bad, but I actually legit think I think a big part of why Septum and London are so bad is because I don't think she cared. And that's because no one cared back then. Day 1 FGO was a shit show that no one cared about, and it was like very low effort and everything. So I think, because, she's not my favorite writer on the planet. She's really not, but she's got certain things that she does in a lot of her works, even her more serious works, that I'm not a big fan of. She can be kind of pandery to like fan service and like, oh, you think this is popular, right? So we'll just put this everywhere, right? So there's things about her writing style I'm not a huge fan of, but she's way better than what she wrote in Septum in London, right? That's because they didn't really care back then. I think if she wrote a story right now and like really had the time and the budget and the incentive, I think she would write something just fine, because she did write the Blue Fragments, right? And Blue Fragments is not my favorite Fate story by any means, but it's fine. Like, it's not dog shit like Septum is. Oh my god, now we have the opposite extreme, and we have got like the best hand we could have with her, so I'll take that. Yeah, London was very meh, and better than Septum, but barely. The thing is, even if you're pro Nero, I don't think that's a good reason to like Septum. If anything, it's the opposite, because it's cheap. It's like cheap pandering to Nero, right? Like, if you like Nero, I would be really insulted by Septum, and a lot of Nero fans are, because it's like, you like Nero, right? Like, all we gotta do is put Nero in it and you're gonna love it, right? Like, that's what Septum is. right? They don't write Nero well. They don't respect her character. They don't show off like the characterization that she had from Fate Extra and stuff at all. They just assume that the audience thinks Nero is the bee's knees, and they can just get away with having the whole cast just say she's awesome 24/7 without her ever saying or doing anything awesome, right? That's really crappy, right? If they did that with Ku, I would be furious, right? If they used Lancer Ku in a story and they were just like, oh yeah, Lancer Ku is so cool, guys, but everything that came out of his mouth was dog shit and he never actually accomplished anything, I'd be like, this is stupid, right? Like this is dumb, right? Like it's actually worse when they use things badly. When you compare Fate Extra's writing of Nero to Septum, it's just like, what is this, right? Like it's just, okay, wow. Jin K getting like the best luck ever here. I'll take that. Yeah, that's part of why I don't like Dino Ku, but even Dino Ku though, it's like, first off, they can get, there's some liberties because it's not even Ku, and then, you know, they do articulate what his abilities are, and they're fine, and they make sense for what he does. And then why he's that strong in America makes sense because he has a Grail, and he's powered up stronger because of the Grail, right? So it's like, you know, fair enough, right? But, you know, I still think he's kind of lazy, and doing actual Berserker Coup would have been better, and that kind of thing, but, America's when things started getting a little bit better. It's not great, I don't think America's great, but they started at least getting better. And then Camelot's a big step up, and then, Babylon's a step up, and then Epic of Remnant is a thing. It's at least formatted better, but I wouldn't necessarily, the writing isn't necessarily better, but the formatting of the story is better. And then Lostbelt is the big step up. Lostbelt 1 is such a noticeable improvement in so many fields. Like, you may subjectively not like Lostbelt 1 because maybe it doesn't focus on characters that you like, stuff that the way, the point of it may not be to your liking, but the storytelling and the writing in terms of like characters saying things that don't sound awkward and stupid and forced is a lot better. And then just like they have a lot more visual novel bits that do a better job of like explaining what's happening and, you know, having things happen outside of gameplay and stuff. So I mean, Lostbelt is such a big step up, and then Lostbelt 5 is another massive step up. Like Lostbelt 5 is like, especially 5.2 is just such a big step up in terms of storytelling. Oh, we have a fucking crap CE, don't we? I was about to say, why do I not have my NP right now? What the hell do I even have? What is this? Is this 20% crit and guts? That's, at least the crit's good. Yes, okay, that crit's good. Not that, we definitely want starting NP though. There's almost no straight DPS does not want starting NP for this fight. Unless it's like Yang CE, I would think. I am glad it's, if it was anything though, I'm glad it's this, because, theoretically we should crit. I think I quick chain. Imagine if that skill had a 3-turn attack up on it. It would be so much better if that had a 3-turn attack up on it, right? Because then she has an upgraded NP and a quick up and an attack up, right? Now we're getting somewhere with like the burst damage, like that, because she's supposed to be a burst damage servant, right? Like I'm okay with it in the long run. If in the long run, how do I put this? If she had a lower, like if let's say the fight goes on for a long time, if Hunter Face does more damage to her, that's fine. Like her even in the short term, if her survivability to damage ratio isn't like the best, that's fine. But you want in like the pure burst, out of all the assassins for the 1 to 3 stars, I completely stand by this. Out of all the 1 to 3 star assassins, Shinkai should have the most burst damage. She should have the most 1-turn damage. Now, if you want her to fall off like a rock after that turn, that's fine. But in the 1 turn, like, I've got to break this 1 health bar, right? Like, she should be the best at that because she has no survivability. She has an MP that fucking hurts herself, right? Her skills mostly last 1 turn. So, like, she should and like her job is to, like, YOLO and not come back, right? And like that's like the whole thing, right? So it's silly to me that she doesn't even have the best short-term damage and then she has no long-term damage. Like who designed this? Okay. We only made, wow! We only made 35 stars off of a quick chain with our 2nd skill up. Thank God she has a star bomb because That's frustrating right there. Thankfully though, she has a star bomb, right, and then you hit the nice 50, but still, like, god damn. Okay, so the dream is we get our NP off of her NPing us. We'll do star bomb again. Okay, so we might be. This is nice. We might be able to live another turn before Guts goes off, which would be because we heal again. So that's good. All my 50% starting NPs are arts. Yeah, it's kind of, it might still be better though. I really cannot stress how good starting NP is for units like Jin-K. Like, it's so much smoother when you can NP right off the bat. I will say though, if all you have is arts up, it is a close call. Like it's very close because Guts does give you a turn normally, and the crit is nice for her, so it's very close. I would say it depends. It's honestly RNG. The different CEs have different RNG, right? Because you could bring starting NP and still not get your NP in time, right? And then you're really fucked. Was really hoping to loop there, but we'll just heal again. If we can live this turn, we're actually gonna have a pretty feasible performance. But honestly, this is pretty much in line with what I've said about Jin-K. Jin-K is frustrating as all hell, but it's not like she's bad. She's not. She's not amazing. There's no freaking world where Jin-K is amazing. But, okay, this is lucky. We're actually, Guts worked out very well here because we almost died but didn't, so we really get like a nice proper turn of value out of it. So that's actually quite good. But yeah, it's like, honestly, Jin-K is not bad. There's a reason why in my tier list she's not like way down there in the dog shit tier. She's not. But she's not super high either. Because she does, it's not like she can't fuck up a boss. She can. Like, she does do that. And she does have more burst damage than Hunterface. She does. It's just not enough to warrant everything else. But yeah, she's just frustrating because she's so like she's so close to being like just awesome, right? But then she's just kind of, I don't know, average, right? And it'd be nice to do better than that. But yeah, I mean, she's kind of like Deer Mid, right? She's kind of like Deer Mid. She does work. She does do what you need a boss killer to do. But she's not as good as she, like dealing with Deer Mid. I would like Deer Mid to get buffed, right? Because I think she's actually performing around where Deer Mid did. And actually, Deer Mid got really bad luck where he like almost went another turn, right? He just barely died. And if he had gone another turn, he would have gotten his evade back. So Deer Mid, if they both had a good run, if they both had a good, decent RNG, and things both went well for both of them, I do think Deer Mid would do better than her. So I think it'd be fairly close. But she did okay. I mean, she honestly did a little bit better than I thought she would. Obviously, even with perfect RNG, she could not win. I mean, we're pretty far off from winning, and because she's a short-term servant, it's a little deceptive how far we got, because like a lot of other servants kind of keep going to a degree. She runs out of steam, like just it's done, right? So for the next chunk of turns, she was going to do almost nothing, right? Because no more crits really, because Star Bomb's gone and all these things. But she still did all right, though. I mean, it was something. Yeah, I would like to just make her more offensive. Make her more offensive, and I think that would really help her. Like, I very much do not want them to give her a survivability skill, because that's generic at that point. And then she's just kind of like average Andy, right? She's just kind of in the middle, do a little bit of everything, but not exceptional at anything. I would prefer she just be super good at the burst damage, like so good at burst damage. Okay, we'll do King Potato Chips. Assuming Maniac is still around, because I think he's the only one that we have. Yeah, I would imagine the elephant could do it just because the elephant is just, broken. I might go default to stabilize, because stabilizing is so important here. Yep, I'm gonna do that. We may never use our battery, depends. I don't think, what's her name? I don't think she could do it. I may be close, but I don't think so. And we already tried Himiko. Oh, yeah, so we could try Himiko again, though. I think Himiko, can do it.
There are certain styles of fight that she is terrible for, and I mean like terrible for, but there's a lot of fights that she's very, very good for, and so I love her gameplay because, you know, she needs to have some gaps in her toolkit because otherwise it would be broken. So that's actually designed well, but her gameplay is so... Why did I not use her first skill right off the bat? But her gameplay is so unique that it fits her really well, and it just doesn't play like anything else. Like, it's great, right? And, you know, it kind of like breaks the game, but in a very specific area. So it's ultimately fair, right? So it feels like it's so game-breaking, but it actually isn't. And that's good, right? That's good. So, yeah, I think she's designed super well. I mean, if you can stall long enough, she'll have so much NP resistance that the NP won't do any damage to her. But like, something that would make her busted is if she had a defense up. Like, if she had a defense up, that would be so busted with her kit. So it's like, they wisely made her kind of susceptible to things like crits and stuff. And like, NPs are still going to be somewhat threatening too, right? That was smart that they did that, because you can compensate for that for a team, but that might slow you down and all kinds of, you know, things. You know, I guess instant death is really bad for her too, but yeah, she now stacks HP and an NP damage resistance. Now, if it was crit resistance, then that would be nuts. But yeah, that would be wrong. Like that is truly not good. Right? Like at that point, you're making bad game design. I wish we had story replay though, so we could come back to this stage. Do I? Yeah, I guess we just Buster Chain. It's fine. By the way, the like green in the sky there is the best part of that skybox. By the way, that exact sound effect at the end is used in a bunch of like Gundam shows and stuff, like older ones anyway, which is pretty funny. Probably could have used that last turn. I should have used that last turn. I actually think I should have, I think we should have still brought Atlas. Okay, I appreciate the crit though. That makes... Okay, actually using the attack up was really good there, but that was not reliable. That was just luck. I'll take that 60% now instead of the Star Bomb. Please crit. Of course not. Man, it'd be nice if we had the heal boost and the 1k heal command code. That'd be very good for her. This is gonna be close, but I think we might be able to get this. I think ultimately it depends on like the damage range, but we kind of do want to NP to use the second skill. We'll see. She actually can't grow completely endlessly in the moon cell, but she can grow a lot, because the moon cell does not have unlimited mana, but it has so much that from a practical standpoint it's never going to matter, right?
But it's not like she's gonna grow and engulf the universe. There's just not enough mana to do that at all, right? Like, that's just not gonna happen. But you would be able to get to any size that you would actually need to get to, right, in the Moon Cell. But without the Moon Cell, then she's super limited by mana, like big time. Yeah, there's also that. Just the physics behind it would obviously be a problem, but you are gonna run out of mana eventually. Like, that's just. But yeah, your body would probably fail before you run out of mana. But you know, magic, lol. I would really like that back card to crit because it's got the anti-ruler thing. Gaijuna would definitely beat King Peter. Honestly, she's not even that powerful, to be honest. Like, she's strong, but most of her power comes from the Moon Cell. That's not her power. That's like Kualter being hooked up to a Grail is really strong. Okay, like, anyone hooked up to a Grail gets a lot stronger. You know, anyone hooked up to the Moon Cell is gonna be a lot stronger, right? So, with her own abilities, it's not even, like, there's no comparison. I mean, Gaijuna would absolutely obliterate her. Like, he could kill, like, an army of her, to be honest. Like, that just, most of her stuff is just so not useful in the context of fighting someone like Gaijuna, right? Like, what are you gonna do, right? I think we win, actually. Yeah. Yeah, we win. That was close. That was really close. And we could have obviously lost just based on the amount of damage we took throughout the turns, right? We only need to take, you know, 822 damage more and we would have lost there. But here, I'll do the damage just to show that she won, but she's got it. I'll try Spartacus, but I don't think he can do it because he's single target. It's a pretty whack fight. I'll try it though, absolutely. I'll try. Give him good command codes and all that. Let's give him a shot. We'll probably do Spartacus and then we'll probably wrap up there. And the next stream we'll probably move on. Like, I love this fight, but you can't stay here forever. You're always tempted to stay here forever, but you really do need to move on. We'll do Himiko tomorrow. Like, we'll do a few more tomorrow. Like, we will do some more, but we will move on tomorrow. Okay, yeah, we won. He just crit for 60,000, by the way, for those that couldn't see it. Yeah. Alright, let me get water. I'm not gonna die here. Alright, we'll do Himiko. We'll do Himiko and Spartacus. Can't say no to the Rue cry. Feels bad. But give me a second, I need water. I'm like super dehydrated here. See, Arjuna, now you're just conditioning everyone in chat to do that, right? But they're not going to be genuine, right? It's you know, false tears. Okay, I'm back. Water good, yes.
See, I swear, talking about Gilgamesh earlier, why it's an endless thing is because so many people, like, they know everyone in the community sees Gil as this, like, bullshit OP nonsense thing, and they want their fucking waifu to be stronger than that, and so they're always trying to, like, take him down a peg. That's such a thing, and it's dumb. Like, it's just, like, I love Ku, but Ku's not stronger than Gil. It's just horse shit. Okay, let's see here. And yes, Shiro is people's waifu, by the way. 100%. Like, just so much so. Okay, sure. Okay, wait. How did I miss Zaw when he was the top option? Okay, let me think. Let's do Atlas. His skills are good, so. They might do a stream for New Year's. I guess we'll see. If they are, we'll know, like, really soon, so. But maybe not. I don't know. Okay, it's actually really important that I use our second skill at an intelligent time. It's really hard to know what that time is, though. Like, I need to use our gut skill twice. It's actually very important. So I need to cast it at a really good time. I might cast it here. If I get a good hand here, I'm gonna cast it here. Come on, give me Buster Buster. Come on. Or even I'll even take an art. Fuck. Shenggong, why do you gotta take 4 out of 5 cards? Why you gotta be like that? Dude won 4 coin flips in a row. Is it worth it to use it anyway? This is really important for Spartacus. Like, we really gotta time this right. I'm gonna do it. I don't think I'm gonna use this third skill though. That means that's the thing, is like I don't know if it's worth it. Like if this is all I'm doing and I get like no refund because I'm not using an art card or any, I don't know if this is worth it. I will say, for being AoE and a freaking 1-star, that is just vanilla damage, right? We didn't have any buffs from anyone, even ourselves. And pretty good. And, you know, Berserkers normally do more damage than that, but, you know, just like weird. I hate to do this, but I think I have to. That's why I really wish like things lined up better, because I'm missing a lot of value playing it this way, but I don't really have a choice. I think, I don't know, I may have played this wrong, because using the battery for the next NP means you get to heal again, because the NP heals, so... Stop punching me in the face! Just crit forehead? Now, if I do the heal boost first, it'll... Okay, I think we do that. I almost want to use the Merlin one. If my Guts comes back, I should use the Merlin one. 2 turns. I don't think it's gonna... Oh, it's gonna be close. I'm gonna go for it. Let's go big. We need Guts to not proc this turn. Like so much val. Okay, wow, that gets a lot out of the heal boost. Don't. Okay, there we go. I love that we got back to full health like that. That was pretty funny. Sadly, the heal right here is going to waste. Like that heal is going to. If I could do it next turn, that would have been great. But the timing just didn't work out there, so that was a waste. I guess I could have done Buster Chain then, though, because look how much we overcharged. Maybe we live here. We'll see. Dude, if you set him up right, you really can live for a long time, but it's not gonna quite work out. We had some, like, if I could have healed this turn with the heal command code, we'd be pretty likely to live another turn, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Damn. Oh! Never mind! But here's the thing, like, we might have, if we had gotten more health there, we might have been able to stabilize, like, further, right? Wow, are we gonna beat this? I'm gonna tell you, if I find a way that he can beat this with, like, a halfway decent win rate, it's going to be a video. I almost think, because I think the heal boost is good, I almost think the heal command code isn't. I'm not sure. It's very debatable. Because it might be better just to have more damage. Like, just to have, like, anti-divinity, you know, just do more damage. I'm not sure, though. Like, because it's kind of random if it ends up working out or not. But if it does work out, it is nice. So, I don't know. I probably should have made NP gain there. I think I just messed up. Because we had the Merlin command code back. And NP next... If I could somehow NP next turn, I think we would have won. We'd be really pushing it. No, we would have won. She attacked twice. I thought she was only attacked once. We would have won if I did NP gain last turn. Because, yeah, then we could, technically, I think we might still win if we get really fucking lucky here. Like, if we double crit, it still won't win. Close, though. Yeah, if we had double crit, it'd have been damn close. I think he can do it. I think I think he might just go for more damage on the command codes. I think I can find a way to make that more consistent. That is surprising. I am very surprised by that because you know, he's a 1-star and he's AoE. Like, Jesus. Yep. I think me and Zaw can kind of hammer that out and find a better setup, and I think that's pretty video worthy. The next video, though, is going to be Lantoria Altar, because I got that recorded. That'll be the next one. But then maybe the next one would be that, because that's pretty good, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I know, you got to whale to get grails, you know. That's how that works. It's been a while since we've done a Spartacus video, so yeah, I think it's about time for another one. By the way, this account got a login streak a little while ago, so we got a bit more. I'm trying to think, what do we want to do on this account now? Because we got Asclepius, so that I wouldn't mind getting him a higher NP rank, but it's not a huge rush. People voted pretty much early on in this account's life that we were mostly going to roll story, but you know, we've gotten most of the stuff from story now. Like, so I don't know. Maybe we wait a little bit just to kind of see. I do think ultimately we'll roll on story a lot on this account, but maybe we just, you know, we'll see what New Year's has. We'll, you know, just see. You never know. Maybe the oh yeah, we gotta do Himiko, excuse me. Roll on Arjuna, yeah. But, yeah, we'll see. But in the long run, you know, we'll do a lot of story summoning. It's just, you know, we've gotten most of the story lock stuff that we would care to get, so.
But yeah, I guess you can keep rolling until you get Tesla and you just keep rolling story forever, like just endlessly. There's honestly a lot of benefits to doing that, so especially if you don't care about a specific thing. I do think Himiko can beat this, but I think you do need to, you know, big brain it a little bit and maybe get a little lucky. Let's try the burst. Yeah, this account getting Beowulf before my main, that'd be annoying. I tell you, if this account somehow got NP2 Tesla, then I would stay at Zeus until I got that Tesla to, you know, 10-10-10, and that would take forever because I don't play this account much, but I would stay at Zeus until I could do that. Yeah, quick units, there's, you know, there are CEs for them other than the quick ones, but there's not as many for them. They definitely have slimmer pickings. The Suzuka one's not that bad though. I mean, I use that CE on this account because this account's a newer account, so I've missed a lot of the stuff. I use that on like Coup and stuff all the time. Like it's still pretty good. Yeah, it's not as good as you know, it's best on an art unit, obviously, but it's still passable. Yeah, obviously Coup is just a really good unit, but you still want to give him the best CE you can, and it is one of the better CEs that I have for him. It depends on context. You know, sometimes you want a unit in the back to just show up and NP quickly, so like K-Scope's better, right? But that's not generally how solos work. Rex, I'll take that as a compliment. Good. Like, fine then. These opening hands have been absolutely atrocious. How did, like, we just literally got nothing done there. And the boss buff. Well, that was abysmal. RNG saved me. Fuck it, we're just going in now. All the eggs in one basket. I'm gonna regret this so much. Click all of the buttons now! The problem is, because I'm doing it this way, we're like never gonna crit again. Like, it's debatable if this is right. It's like some Vocaloid shit right there. Okay. See, we need another turn like that, right? That's the, or to do that when you have 2 NPs up. That's like the dream. Oh my god, I should not have done that. That's so wrong. Like, granted, we're not gonna get like 3 or 4 turns out of our health bar, like you might if you were a normal ruler, but you want to get at least 1, right? We should have gotten at least 1 turn out of our health bar. Okay, you do not put all the eggs in one basket. You go for the double NP, and then you put all the eggs in one basket. Like, that is not what one would want. Oh my god. Just get your NP right now, and it'll kind of bail me out. So, something I really respect about Arjuna, and I don't mean the character, I mean the person in chat, obviously, but is she is very much the kind of person that will like enjoy the crap out of something regardless of like what everyone else thinks, right? And that's a good trait to have, right? Like a character can be unbelievably unpopular. I could hate it, Rex could hate it, Bob could hate it, and Arjuna is just gonna be like, it's Grail time, right? Like and you know, a lot of people will obviously like the thing that they like, right? Even if other people don't like it. But Arjuna has no shame, and rightfully so. You shouldn't have any shame, but you know, some people, you know, it kind of gets to them a little bit, right? And they get like a chip on their shoulder, or the, you know, whatever. But Arjuna don't give a fuck, man, right? Like not even a little bit, which is great, right? That's you know, you know, that the more like that you are, the better, really, right? So that's why I always say I hope I'm more like Arjuna when I get older.
玉ゆらに霞ゆ光かの者の道行きをどこそばに開
But like, for example, let's say there was a new character, and one of their stages was really out there, like really out there. Like everyone liked the character, but that one Ascension stage, everyone hated, except for Arjuna. Arjuna was the only person in the whole world that liked that Ascension stage. Arjuna's not even gonna be like, oh fuck you guys, it's great. You know, Arjuna's just gonna use it and be like, this is awesome, right? Like that's pretty much how Arjuna is, and it's great. Oh, Van Gogh, don't get me started on that one. Okay, well, I think it's totally possible with Himiko. I think I really threw a bit there. You basically go for the double NP, right? And you want to get damage on your first NP, but you really go for the big damage on the second one. And then that way you probably get an extra turn out of survivability from your health bar. So not only do you like get a bigger burst damage turn, which overall is better, but then you also live an extra turn at least. And that's way better. Okay, boys. Let me, I think I need to do my FP real quick, but we'll wrap up here. I think it's about time. It's pretty late. Probably no bonus stream today, because I'm gonna try to do, it might be too late. I think I started my stream so late today, I might not be able to do the things that I want to do, but we'll see. But, let's see, what are we doing tomorrow? I really need to work on some videos tomorrow. So what I might do tomorrow is make the Jolter video, then maybe record the Spartacus one or something. So maybe no stream tomorrow. If there is one, it'll probably be later in the day. But I might just take the streaming off. That way I can work on videos, and then I can do like stuff like in real life, right? Like it'd be nice to have a little bit of time to do that. So I might take tomorrow off, but we'll see. I'll obviously post on Discord if I do stream like normal, yada yada yada. But yeah, have a good one, everybody, and I will see you either tomorrow or the day after. Peace. Oh, wait. I should rate somebody. Excuse me. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Not a whole lot of people playing FGO. Feels bad, but that is, you know, FGO is not the most popular here in the West, sadly. Here we go, Halo Man. Halo Man's playing some FGO. We'll rate him. He's a nice chap. All right, boys. Oh, I think he's doing Lostbelt 3 right now. I think he's fighting Old Man Lee or something. Good luck with that one. Anyway, I'm gonna get food. You all have a good one, and I will see you again tomorrow or the day after. You know, blah 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 blah. You know, streams ending, lip service, yada yada yada.